Hello, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful evening here in the Miami metro area as the AWSCO Snapdragon Continental Series has gone over the course of the year. We've seen plenty of moments up and down the series. Lots of exciting action, and lots of drama along the way, and it's all going to come down to this. Coming up on round 40 of 40 of the first season of the AWSCO Snapdragon Continental Series. We're here at Homestead, Miami, in the Fresh from Florida 300, where we will decide both the owners and drivers championship for the inaugural Continental Series season. 5 drivers come into this race, each with their own stories to tell of ups and downs throughout the season. They've had plenty of adversity on the way here, but they're all here and they all have the opportunity to walk away from this race with a championship in their grasp. I'm Arasha. Hello and welcome to the FanDuel's Fan Studio. We're here for at least the penultimate time this season in the FanDuel Fan Studio, joined by Ellie again here as we're set to go racing very soon here. Homestead, Miami, I think, is one of the most one of the biggest fan favorite tracks, I feel like, on the schedule. It's a track that consistently brings up good action and a lot of good racing without necessarily seeing a lot of the of kind of the crashes that we see in other tracks where there's always a lot of cars in contention for the race. So what do you think we're going to see here? Obviously, Homestead Miami is a multi-groove track, which is going to play into things a bit. Lots of ways you can kind of tackle this track to get the optimum lap time, I think. And in the race, of course, with the way the race will be, I think we're going to see drivers making use of both the top and bottom lanes in this track. What do you think?
Yeah, mile and a half multi-groove speedways. They're always really fun to watch, especially in AWSCO, and I think that's going to make for a very competitive race between our playoff drivers. I think that's going to be really fun to watch. I know they're all going to be fighting really hard to make some ground up and race as hard as they can. I mean, this is it. This is the final for the Continental Series, and what a track to be at for the final. I definitely look forward to seeing the racing here. I know it's going to be very... I know there's going to be some strategy to it as well. We're going to have to watch for tire strategy as always. But yeah, I think if you asked me right now who I would pick, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So
Yeah, all of these drivers are I'd say fairly close to each other in terms of performance. Not necessarily all the time, but I feel like over the course of the season, their kind of performance has been pretty close to each other. And especially, I think, in the last 3 races, all 3 of them have had are on good form heading towards the end of the season here. And I think all 5 of them are going to have to bring their A game today if they're going to walk away with the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard-fought race.
Yeah, taking a look at this track, actually, let's first off take a look at the profile of the racetrack itself. Homestead Miami Speedway, of course, opened in the mid-1990s as a rectangular shaped oval intermediate track, kind of as a miniature version of Indianapolis, but it's very quickly reconfigured to be a flat pill shaped oval before a further reconfiguration, I believe in 2003, turned it into a higher bank speedway, which is kind of the Homestead that we know of today. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to see just how different this track was not too long ago when it was first opened up. But of course, nowadays we know Homestead as kind of being that high bank track with progressive banking. I think about 18 to 20 degrees in the corners itself, which kind of helps make that multi-groove. We've seen plenty of drivers when NASCAR comes over here kind of been able to rip that outside line very quickly. Of course, Kyle Larson is infamous for doing so at this track. Wonder if we'll see someone try that in this race as well. Plenty of drivers, I think, would be able to do that kind of thing at Homestead, Miami. And some of these drivers, we do know some of these drivers have had history of success here at this track as well. And I think we might see some of those drivers kind of bank on that past success to kind of carry them home today.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of moves made here that are typically you might not see for the most part in AWSCO because of, well, it's the final. Everybody wants to win here. And I think that's going to be one of the most unique and fun things to watch about this race is how intense it's going to be for all of those drivers. They've all had amazing stories. They've all had amazing runs. Some lows, some highs, but they've all been really great drivers, and to see them fight for the championship is going to be, it's going to be something to see. It's going to be something to witness, and I think many people are going to really enjoy this one. I think we're going to see some really interesting moves from the inside and outside because, well, both the inside and outside are not bad places to be on this track. It's multi-groove, so.
Yeah, and with that, I think we'll go on and see our starting lineup here. Our championship contenders are kind of starting all over the field right now. But on the front row, it is a pair of non-playoff cars, Alexi Rockwood and Karina Willis-Callaway, two drivers that have had mixed success this season, but kind of quite a few bright spots, especially Willis-Callaway, who've kind of come close to contending in a few races this season already, but still haven't been able to kind of get that clutch, grab that win. But top fives at Chicagoland earlier this season, and a second place at Iowa as well, alongside a third place at Charlotte. She's definitely shown good pace, I think, on these speedway ovals. So definitely a car to look out for pace-wise, I think. Lexi Rockwood, of course, as well, has kind of shown very inconsistent season, but has been quick in bursts, including a top 5 at that Charlotte race as well, which was a double top 5 for that for her and Project Horizon Racing. On row 2, Mila Chestina in the 6 car. That Inverness Racing car, taking a little note into our owners' points battle here, the Inverness Racing 6 is one of 2 cars that can take the owners' championship home today, but it'll be an uphill climb to say the least for the 16. They are 39 points behind the Dark Horse Racing 55, which is driven by drivers' title contender Deborah Williams, I believe. Yeah, so obviously with the 55 angling for a championship in both championships here, of course, they're going to look to do as best as possible. It would take basically an early retirement, an early end of the day for the 55 for the 6 to have a chance, and they would have to dominate today. Starting alongside her, Zoe Quinton in the number 82 car. On row 3, on the inside, you'll see one of our the first of our 5 championship contenders, Rachel Ramos in the 2. Well, I feel like it's probably one of the most unlikely stories of this kind of inaugural postseason in AWSCO, considering that for the longest part of this season, Ramos was kind of coasting off her win at Phoenix in the regular season. Didn't really have too many top 10s, and even managed to even DNQ'd a few races, which is not exactly uncommon with some of these drivers. You'll see later, but a bit of a rocky first round as well. 2 finishes outside the top 30, but a 9th place finish at Oswego in the round 1 closer propelled her through to the first round. Bit of a similar story as well in the second round. At Martinsville, a top 10 was enough to get her into the second round, but she really stepped it up in the third round after an early retirement at Kern County. Finishes of 3rd and 11th in Atlanta and Rockingham were enough for her to put her into this final 5. Bit of a surprise, definitely, but considering her form and the fact that she's done well when her back's been put against the wall in these elimination scenarios, Ramos has been one of the best drivers, I feel like. We'll see if she can get it done today. On the outside, row 3, it's Izzy Oberman in the 93, driver with the most wins this season, knocked out at the end of the last race at Rockingham, but still in 7th in points, potentially looking to pass the 12 of Jackie Kennedy to be the highest non-playoff car come the end of this season. Row 4, Lulu Connie, who's had an absolutely turbulent season, qualifies very well in the finale here in 8th place, looking to try to get another good run after what has been a very rough season for that 44 and for the RGB Racing as a whole. Row 4 on the outside, Tammy Bird in the 84. That's one of the other Uberman Enterprise cars. Row 5, Charlie McCarron in the 10, completing her season, half season after filling in that Ozark Racing, that Ozark Motorsports car. And on the outside of row 5, completing the top 10, Jackie Kennedy, who while not making the playoffs has been on a bit of a trail of vengeance per se. Easily the best driver, I think, outside of the playoffs, and of course won at North Wilkesboro immediately afterwards. We'll see if she has another good run in her yet. Looking at the rest of our playoff, our final 5 contenders. The second of our contenders is starting on the outside of row 12 in 24th place, Lynn Oswell. The other surprise package, I feel like, of this postseason. Kind of threw a Hail Mary at Pensacola, won that race and locked herself into the playoffs. Made her way through the first round on fairly good finishes in the first and second round, including a top 5 finish at Martinsville, but she's really stepped it up in this third round. In the third round, with top 10s in both Kern County and Rockingham, which sees her, those top 10 finishes plus the top 10 at Martinsville, that counts for 3 of her 8 top 10s this season, including one of her 2 top 5s at Martinsville. So, well, Oswell hasn't been the fastest over the entire season. She's been extremely quick and has a decent track record at Speedway Ovals. 6th place at the 2-miler at Auto Club, 11th at Texas, 12th in Kentucky, 16th at Michigan, and a 3rd place at Darlington, the penultimate race as well in the regular season. So she definitely has a decent track record on these big tracks. Cassidy Jones as well starts 1 position behind in 25th. Again, another driver that kind of struggled in the first half of the season, but definitely picked it up in the second half. Finished 2nd at Michigan. Of course, won in Vancouver, but her speedway record has definitely improved. As of late, finished 2nd at Oregon in that duel with Bridget Brosseau, and finished 9th at Atlanta. Of course, one of her best tracks, and additional top 10s at both Las Vegas early in the season, 9th in Darlington. Another driver with a good track record in these ovals, speedways, I should say. And our last 2 contenders are starting on the on row 17. Both. The first one is Deborah Williams in the 55. That's 33rd place. Williams. I feel like Deborah Williams is probably the most obvious kind of candidate, I think, to win the championship, at least in terms of the big picture. I feel like in terms of consistency, she has the most top 10s of anyone that's in the final 5 here, and the 3rd most top 10s overall. She won at Charlotte earlier this season, another similar speedway, 1.5 mile speedway style oval. Has top 10s in quite a few mile speedways, including at Oregon and Kansas, and at Darlington as well. So it'll be interesting to see how she does starting back there. But if anyone in this big picture is able to kind of usurp her, I feel like it would be our final contender, starting 34th, Freya von Lundquist in the 42. Won at Daytona, the season opener, all the way back in the beginning of the season, of course. Has top 10s at speedway ovals like Las Vegas, Texas, 7th and 8th at those races. Finished 3rd in Kansas in the playoffs, and has finished in the top 10 and other, finished kind of in the top 15 in other ovals, like 14th place at, finished in the top 10th and finished in the top 15 in other speedway ovals. 13th at Oregon, for example, 17th in Kansas, 3rd in Kansas, 14th at I'm mixing up my results here. I've been on a ramble. 19th place at Oregon, I should say, for Freya. And Freya does have decent success in this at this racetrack, especially in season deciding championships. Of course, winning in ISRC, finishing 11th in that race and taking the championship. She's won at this track before in that league, so that's, I feel like, another one of our. I feel like she's gonna have a say in this championship as well. Ellie, I know I've talked for quite a while here, kind of rambled on about the stories of these drivers, pretty much. Who do you think who has the best chance here?
Well, Rachel Ramos has had a good run. She had a kind of iffy start to the season, but overall she's really picked it up, kind of forced herself into the playoffs. Had a kind of rough round 1, round 2, and then recovered it round 3. Lynn Oswell also had that kind of start and then picked it back up. And then also Darlington is a really hard track, and that takes a lot of skill. And to have a decent run there, you have to just be a decent driver. I mean, you have Cassidy Jones as well. She's been an amazing performer so far. Freya von Lundquist has been really great at these types of tracks, and so has Deborah Williams. It's really hard to pick, but I think the two favorites in terms of overall performance and overall, overall performance would be Deborah Williams and Freya von Lundquist. I think those are the two obvious picks there.
Yeah, and if they are going to do it, they're going to have to claw their way from the back of the field, but that's not exactly impossible here at home at Miami. And at the end of these 200 laps, we'll be able to say that we've crowned a new champion here in the AWSCO Continental Series, as we're going to go to the booth now fairly soon. Thank you for thank you for joining us here in the FanDuel Fan Studio. We'll see you guys again in the mid race, but until then, it'll be Echo and Ludovic calling the race itself from the booth, and we'll get to them right now. Actually, Echo, Ludovic, are you there in the booth? We'll see you guys in the mid race.
I am here in the booth here in Homestead, Miami, and Homestead, Florida, South Florida, for the final race of the season, the AWSCO Continental Series. What a spectacle this race is going to be. 200 laps tonight from this 1.5 mile track. This is a track the drivers absolutely love. It's a track that fans absolutely love. This track is just a great place to hold a finale. I'm joined by Ludovic in the booth. Ludovic, what do you think we might see in tonight's race, and how do you think it's going to be for those drivers who are racing for the championship tonight? What do you think they're going to have in their minds?
Well, Homestead's always a little bit of a special racetrack, so we might see some. I think we're going to see the first 100 laps are going to be quite calm because one wants to end their championship a bit early, and then I'm expecting the final laps to be quite special. Homestead always has crazy championship finales, so there's a lot of expectations here today.
That is true. Homestead always has those very wild championship races. There have been a lot of great moments here, especially in all of the NASCAR series when they used to come here for their championship race. We're going to go to our starting grid here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Row 1, Lexi Rockwood is on the pole for the final race of the season. She starts alongside Karina Willis-Calloway in the 99. Two drivers who've had pretty lackluster seasons, but looking to end things off with a bang here as they start from the front row tonight. Row 2, Mila Chistina, who's won twice this season at Oswego and Kern County. She looks like she may be pretty solid. She's alongside Zoe Quinton, winner at Five Flags. Row 3, championship contender Rachel Ramos in the 2 car, winner at Phoenix. That's her one win so far this season, but Ramos has been great through these playoffs. Managed to advance through all 3 rounds just barely. I think she hasn't advanced by more than about 10 points through each of these rounds. So Ramos has had a quite literally had a miracle run through these playoffs. She's alongside Izzy Oberman, who's a 4-time winner this year at Nashville, Fontana, South Boston, and Kansas. Row 4, the 44, Lulukani, is alongside the 84, Tammy Bird, who won at Martinsville. Row 5, Charlie McCarron in the 10 car. The former driver of that car, Eliza Evergreen, won at Irwindale, alongside Jackie Kennedy, winner at North Wilkesboro. Row 6, the 66, Ani Starchev, who won Michigan, and the previous driver of that car, Jet Brackett, won at Texas. She's alongside Faye Zanda. Reina Munoz, the previous driver of that car, also won at Delaware. Row 8, the 64, Mayumi Moriyama, is alongside the 88 of Brenda Davis, who won at Talladega. Row 9, the 51, Sandy Martel, winner at Evergreen, alongside the 04 of Emily Tremblay-Vaudreuil. Row 10, the 0, Hieta Yoko, who's a 3-time winner this season, Pikes Peak, Richmond, and Atlanta, alongside the 31, Petra Ilatovsky. Row 11, the 11, Takamoto Aya, is alongside the 16 of Leah Iselhart. Row 12, the 45 of Liz Roberts, winner last week at Rockingham, alongside the 54 of Michaela Kirkland. Row 13, the 14 of Katrin Edelstein, winner at Hillside, is alongside the 96 Lynn Oswell, the second championship contender that we've seen. She won at Pensacola, and she has turned it up in the playoffs. She had three top 10 finishes coming into the playoffs, and I think she's managed to gain 3 more in those playoffs. So Oswell's really locked in. Row 14, the 4 of Cassidy Jones, winner at Echo Energy International Speedway in Vancouver. She's really kicked it up a gear too through these playoff rounds. Managed to move up through the points, and she had a really good run at the last 2 races before Rockingham to pretty much seal her spot in the playoffs. She's alongside Robin Morales, who won at Milwaukee. Row 15, the 81, row 14, the 81 of Alice Hagman, alongside the 5 of Maya Sheldeby. Row 15, the 60 of Jennifer Wilson is alongside the 65, Latanya Gray, won at Aguas Calientes. Row 16, the 62, Vinnie Schultz, winner at Iowa, alongside the 59 of Abby Buchanan. Row 17, the 55, Deborah Williams, points leader all year, presumptive, keyword presumptive because anything could happen, presumptive winner of the Continental Series of the Owners' Championship, that 55 car, winner at Charlotte earlier in the year, alongside the 42, Freya von Lundquist, winner at Daytona, has just been very solid all year, managed to turn it up in the playoffs when she needed to.
Drivers, start your engines.
Row 18, the 46, Bridget Brousseau, winner at Oregon, is alongside the 22, Naomi Davenport, who won the races at Kentucky and IRP, and a row 19, Cara Reynolds, who won I don't remember what race she won. She's alongside Kathy Ableton Perez, who won Memphis, Chicagoland, and Darlington. So, before we get started, any keys to the race you think there might be, Lou, before we get going?
Just try to keep it clean. I think this race is going to be decided on strategy because Homestead in NR can be a little bit of a drafting track, but I think strategy is going to be quite important here, and splitting the packs up. So just try to have a good pit stop.
And the 78 of Lexi Rockwood and the 99 of Karina Wells Calloway will lead us to the green flag here. 200 laps tonight. So we will be going. This is going to be a long one, but it's going to be a very, very important one. Green flag is out. We're back. We are racing from Homestead. It's an okay start for Rockwood, but here comes Mila Chishtina in the 6 car, looking to the inside lane, trying to take it 3 wide for the lead already. It's going to be between the 78 and 99 as they get to the line to lead the first lap. It is the 99 of Karina Willis Calloway, who leads lap number 1 from Homestead. And Lulu Connie is looking to go 4 wide.
And that outside line just got going there. Four wide at the beginning of the race. You can put it off at Homestead, although, there's not 4 lines of, good racetrack here. Oh my goodness, they're going to go at it again.
Lulu Connie is trying to make up positions as much as she can. She was very fast in qualifying. They are going to end up splitting it out. They are 4 wide a little further back here, too, with Cassidy Jones, Katrin Edelstein back here. With how bunched up they get at the start of the race, they can get really wide at this track, especially because there's so much room to the inside. You want to gravitate towards the top, but you can use the bottom lane a little bit if you want to try and make go forward. But you
It's
can't
definitely can, but
you can't get too greedy with it.
yeah, especially at the start of the race when everybody's on, new tires. This isn't the the inside's not particularly gonna work. When the cars are sliding a little bit more, it'll be easier to go inside. Good start. You see these finale drivers really pushing their way through the pack right now.
But look at Cassidy
They
Jones.
have to.
Look at Cassidy Jones in
None of
the
them
4-car.
None of them qualified that great, and so they all have to try to get up front as soon as possible. But man, that was close.
That's Liz Roberts in the 45 trying to take there. She was going 4 wide with them as well. Rachel Ramos still up here. She is the only one of the final 5 drivers to manage to qualify in the top 10. All the rest qualified 24th or worse. But Cassidy Jones has started to make up ground. She's up to 14th place right now. That's probably changed at the line. Yeah, okay, no, it didn't actually change. It's 14th.
Yeah, which is a reasonable start. Although they seem at the front at least to be calmer. So the drivers at the back, they are trying to make their way up front, especially the final 5 drivers are really gonna want to get away quickly as well.
We've got a
look at that.
change.
There's kind of a breakaway now.
Look at that. The 4-car has actually made her way up to the championship spot. I mean, it's very early, but we're still tracking it.
Well, we're still tracking it because there's at any moment, considering how they seem to be running quite aggressively today, so far at least, there could be a wreck. And if there's a wreck, which we don't usually see that many of at Homestead, but if there is a wreck, being up front will be the only safe place really, because
Yeah.
the wrecks at Homestead can very easily pile up because of how crazy wide they are.
Yeah, they've been going all over the place in this one. Jones is in 4th. Ramos is in 8th. Lynn Oswell is in 18th at the moment. And then the other two, Freya, who's had to start at the back, Freya Van Lundquist and Deborah Williams. Van Lundquist has moved up to 28th. Williams is still in 34th.
Oh man, look at that at the front. They went. I think they went. No, they didn't go 3 wide for the lead, but that inside lane, Jones is really making it work, and she's almost at the lead. And right now it's a race to lose because she just seems able to go so much faster than the entire field without that inside, and that's where the drivers will usually go to try to protect.
Here comes the 4. Big run through turns 3 and 4.
Look at
Cassidy
that outside
Jones,
lane.
look at this. The 4-car is going to take the lead here.
Look at that outside lane. They're running so wide. They're sliding so much. I think we're really starting to. It worked very well in the beginning, but I don't know what happened now. It seems like the inside lane's starting to take over again. It's the more predominant lane. And it'll be interesting to see if that comes and goes as the race goes on. Right now, the inside lane is really where it's working its best. Oh yeah, Cassidy Jones is really fast. Yeah, she had a car length last time, but now she's gonna slow down because she doesn't have any draft.
Yeah. The 99 car who did have the lead for the start of this race.
The 82. There's only Quinton now, so gonna try to get up to her, but yeah, she just seems to be faster.
Lynn Oswell has made it up to the second spot of the championship car. She's actually in 4th right now, so 3 of them have been in the top 10. And you see the 42 of Freya Van Lundquist is starting to make her way up through here as well.
Yeah, and let's see. Ooh. Now they're starting to calm down now, which is good. We're 10 laps in, so that makes about sense, but that means now it's going to start to be harder to make passes on the racetrack. And I mean, some of these championship contenders are quite far away, so they must not be happy about that much. Now, yeah, now it seems like the outside's starting to become the third line again. Ooh.
04, looking at the bottom. 4 wide again, but that's gonna... And that's the thing is, the further up the track you go, you'll lose... further up the track you go, you'll lose time in the corners, but you'll gain all of that time back on corner exit with the momentum you gain from it. Whereas with how it is on the on the bottom, you gain a lot of spots on corner entry, but you pretty much lose all of that on exit.
Bad lap for the
4 car.
That was a bad lap for the 4.
Yeah, here comes the 96 of Lynn Oswell, looking for
And that's for the championship.
the championship lead and the race lead.
And
I don't think she'll get it. The support's
seem
coming
like
to the
she will,
the support is coming to the top lane right now. And this is also something, as the run goes on, not only will the field break up a lot, but also with pit stops, the field will break up a fair bit too. But I think the 96 is going to take the lead here.
oh yeah, the 96 has taken the lead. In fact, and she's now leading the championship. But look at that run for the 4, just going all the way up to the wall. And that can be dangerous with these tires becoming older. I mean, it sometimes happens that you have cars hitting the wall, not often, but it can happen. And that is quite dedicated driving for 16 laps into this 200 laps race.
4 is going to get the... is she going to get... Yeah, she is going to get it back. They're going 4 wide behind them, meanwhile.
Yeah.
It's interesting as well, point out the 42 is about to enter the top 10. Of Freya Lundqvist, she had to take a provisional to get into this field. Started back in 34th position. And she's in the top 10 now. So qualifying doesn't really matter, I don't think.
No. Qualifying's not that important in Homestead. Because you can easily pass, especially at the start of the race, you can easily pass. It'll become harder as the field breaks up, which probably will once the pit stop stops. The pit stop starts, Jesus. As now the 04 just got in our way into first position.
Trying to battle with Jones for it.
Oh no, well there's no help on the bottom here, so.
Yeah, the bottom lane is kind of not really anybody's there. Now the 96 is trying to go to the high side on the 4. The 4 is going to get shuffled to the middle. No, she's not. 4 is going to actually block the 96 here.
Then split down for second. That helps the 04, and I mean both of these cars want to help the 04 because it's a position between them and the other car they're battling for the championship, which is really what matters. So I think having somebody at front, especially for Jones, having a car lead that's a draft that you can leech on whenever the 96 attacks is pretty good. We have, but it doesn't seem like the 04 will right now. At first,
Something. All four of the 5 championship cars have looked pretty solid. The only one we just have not seen anything of is this 55 of Deborah Williams. She's really far back in the pack, and she just has not been able to make that ground up to get back to the front.
sometimes it happens that you don't have a good car, especially in the series where the car performances are really based on setup more than anything.
Yeah.
But that's not a good day to have one, and I think she'll be pissed at the end of the race, because, I mean, we're 21 laps in, but unless we get a caution, it's probably over for the 55.
I mean, I could see her making that up. And again, this is a long race. It's not entirely impossible to get a yellow.
This is a long race, but once we're probably gonna get a yellow just because of mechanical failures. But once the field breaks up, changing your group start to be much harder. And when you're that far back, I mean, it's basically impossible to make that ground up.
The 04
Look at that.
The 04 has finally taken the lead.
They've finally taken the lead, but
And Cassidy Jones has a teammate behind her right now, actually, in teammate battling with her right now for second. That's the two Heath Clarkson cars. But again, it doesn't really matter because Jones is still in that title lead. We'll see if Jones can maybe get to the outside of the 04. I had to check up there.
well, yeah, but that 14 should be behind because look at that, the 96 of Oswald's just right behind, and whoa, Cassidy Jones there,
She's running
to the
way up to the
outside.
wall at the moment.
and that ended up working out, but that could have ended in disaster because that didn't look like it was voluntary. That looked more like a good old slide.
Well, I was dissing the 55, but she has started to make up a little bit of ground. She was 34th last I checked, and now she's 26th. So
Yeah, that's pretty good. Seems like the inside's starting to become really the predominant lane. Not at the front because there's no draft, but at the back. At the back, it seems like it's more of a choice with the draft.
I think Jones really would like to get clear of Edelstein in the 14, and I think she was clear for a little bit there. I think she could get clear coming off the corner again here.
I mean, what's
Funny
really
enough, she's going to
saving-
get a push from the 96.
What's really saving Jones right now is just track position. Being on the outside like that really helps her because you just can get the speed, and it's hard to compete with the speed because really you're gonna pass more on the. This is more of a kind of racetrack where you pass on the straights than in the middle of a corner, just because there's not that much braking happening.
Well, yeah, you need to have that. You need to build the momentum
Yeah.
in the corners
fact-
to make the passes on the
fact-
straightaway.
In these cars, I don't even know if there's any braking going on.
I'm not sure. It might just be a little bit of roll off, but I think with the speeds
Yeah,
they
I
run
think
in the
just-
corners, they run about a 150-ish in the corners.
I'm pretty sure they just lift up.
It's mostly lifting here.
Yeah. And look at that. 14 clears for second, and that's bringing the battle for the title lead back. And look at that run for Oswald.
96
Around
car.
the outside.
Trying to get to the outside. They might go 4 wide.
They're going for wide. Nope, they won't.
They were for a little bit there.
Yeah. But yeah, that 96 just had a magnificent run, but it's especially just that 14. I don't know what Edelstein's doing, but you can't just leave your teammate like that in the ride. She didn't have any draft, she didn't have anything. That left her no momentum, and that just brought out Oswald, which is now trying to take that championship lead away. Obviously, we're still early, but they look like the two early favorites at least. Although that 42 is still making ground.
42 has been gaining a lot here. 4 cars still hanging with the 96 at the moment.
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting how you're seeing that the top 10 has kind of a different racing dynamic than the rest of the pack. The rest of the pack seems to be more.
I mean, this
More
is
of that
what's going on back here.
crazy-
There's the 2 in the middle of all this.
Well, yeah, that's not where you want to be because at this stage, that's when the wrecks can start to happen, when the tires start to degrade and the grip starts to lessen.
And there's the 55, now moved up to 22nd. So,
Okay, that's pretty good. That could stay in the battle.
yeah,
Potentially, but there's still a lot of ground to make, and we're getting closer and closer to that first round of pit stops.
you can
Number
really
45.
run it deep into the corners here. You can kind of push it. I think this is one thing that we don't really see at a lot of other tracks is it kind of depends how hard you want to run into the corners. Like you can make the momentum work on any lane really, but you have to push very hard when you want to do it.
Yes, definitely, and having a bit of help, well, helps.
Yeah.
And it's kind of essential, really, which is fine now because, well, we're racing in a big pack. When that's gonna split off, that's why passes become harder.
Like the 4
but-
is taking the lead back here of the championship cars.
Yes, mainly because that 42 just, not that 42, it was the
This
45.
96.
I mean.
Yeah, the 96. The 45 gave the 4 a
Yeah,
pretty
the
big
45.
shove.
the 45 also tried to like pass the 96, but did not have any kind of momentum going. She just sort of went around the 96, which slowed her down, and then that was basically the end of that. Look at that 14, no run, and that's gonna leave the 4 in second place. Meanwhile, the 04 is just pounding away at the race lead, not really slowing down at all. They're battling for second all the time, so I think that helps her keep it, but maybe not for long, as I'm saying that.
Well, this is the most important position for Jones right now. I think, weirdly, this is about the one time where I would rather be in second than first, because...
Oh, definitely, yes, because, I mean, you need to have a bit of draft. Well, Jones doesn't seem to think that, or maybe...
She got the run.
Well, yeah, I think that she just physically had to go for the pass there.
Interestingly, the 4 actually has what's scored right now as the second fastest lap of the race. The 14 has the fastest lap right now, as it's being scored.
And
but yeah, now we're
gonna try to go for second.
We're actually starting to see the bit of the pack split start to kick in now, just because we're we're getting deeper into this run, so the pack split's starting to happen.
But when they went 4 wide in like just outside the top 10, that definitely helped too.
Yeah.
The big slowdown that must have happened there. That pack definitely hasn't broken up yet. I think if they get enough of a run, and well, some cars seem to be organizing to have some kind of a push for the front pack. They can still make it in.
60 really slowed up, and that's taken the 96. 96 is going to try to take that to be a run for third place, but now she's kind of stuck with being on the inside lane. And you don't really want to be on the inside lane coming off the corner.
No, you don't want to be in the inside lane of the corner. You don't really want to be in the inside lane. Depending on the situation, and I think now we're in that kind of situation where you don't really want to be on the inside lane ever. You want to be in that sort of middle lane, which effectively becomes the inside lane, because so late into a round, the inside lane is just toxic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just need to rotate the car too much in the inside lane to make it work at this point.
I mean, again, that was something we're gonna kind of see here as well, is that if you could use that inside lane, maybe if you like absolutely dive bomb it into the inside and try to slide back up, you're gonna see a lot of drivers try that slide job.
Yeah, but the pack's too condensed right now, so if you do that, you're just gonna end up wrecking. I think they're aware, and also it's lap 36.
Yeah.
You might see that on laps 136, but not so early.
Well, the 42 right now is leading this group behind the leaders.
Yep. Well, that's not great. The good thing is that that group's not racing that hard, so maybe they could have a chance at coming back into that lead group, or if they have a good pit stop. But it's not necessarily the greatest place to be in right now.
The 96 will take second away from Jones, and now Edelstein going to try to battle Jones for third.
Yeah. 96 taking second again, but
Now look at the 14 maybe try to go for second.
14 starts to push. That might not last for long, although, yeah, that 14 did not have any kind of a run. Seems like that outside lane's dying now. This might become a 1.5 lane type of racetrack until there's pit stops.
And I think the 42, if she can get this group, if she can catch up to this lead group.
Oh no, she's catching up.
She's catching up actually quite a bit right now.
Yeah,
but again,
because they stopped fighting at all. They were just a stream trend there. So
I was gonna say, if she could get caught up to this group, she will have a good chance at battling with these top two right now in the title fight.
yeah,
She's
definitely.
already caught the 60 of Jennifer Wilson actually, so.
I think right now we might see some of these cars that were up front start to drop off a little bit as the pace is gonna start to change here. As we're gonna start to see drivers that are better on tires getting further up the
The running order?
further up the running order. But
4 cars going for the lead.
Yep, I don't know if that's the greatest call, but that's what she's doing right now, and she'll probably get it because it's a one-on-one.
She's pretty far away from the rest of the pack right
Yeah,
now.
I think the fact that the rest of the pack was like only 500 cars, she could have just stayed behind the 04 and just tandem their way into a good like 1 second lead, but that wasn't the greatest call going side by side.
You've got 3 of these. You got 3 of the championship cars in the top 10 right now. And as it stands, the others, there's Rachel Ramos back in 17th, Deborah Williams in 23rd. So these two battling for 4th right now, basically.
But these two are. Well, Deborah Williams starting to figure it out a bit, and surprisingly, these cars in the middle seem to be able to still rock the inside lane, which nobody at the top is able, at the top of the order, starting to be able to do, or really hasn't been able to do in about 10 to 15 laps.
Yeah.
Which opens more opportunities for passing, a lot more in fact. But we're not seeing that much passing going on right now at the front of the pack. And I don't know when the fuel window is here in this race is, but
It's about 60 to 65 laps from what I recall.
oh wow, okay, so they didn't.
They have a
run
bit.
really long.
They have a bit longer fuel window than some of the other 1.5 miles, just because you let off a little bit more at this track, so you can just save a little bit more fuel.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be interesting then, because we're already starting to see a lot of a different type of racing right now that we did half of the race time we've done so far go. And so these tires are going to be completely dead by the time we get in.
Yeah.
And,
Well, they lose. They've already lost about 2 seconds. They've already lost almost 3 seconds on tires.
oh my God, that was.
Some cars have lost about 2 seconds. Some have lost 3.
Lost.
It's like 2
Probably
seconds.
haven't lost as much because of the drafting effect, but that's still over a second. Definitely lost because
Yeah.
of tires.
I mean, they've lost
Yeah, that's
about
a lot.
2 seconds on tires right now. So,
Yeah.
and you know, now as the tires start to wear out, you see the field just starts to single file out more.
Definitely, and now
There's,
they're starting to come down on that middle of the pack, and now it's over. I don't wonder what do we have cars that have dropped out of the
Out of the pack completely?
out of the pack? I drew that probably
It
not.
looks like these two. Looks like the
Oh.
59, 5, and 31 have. As the 4 car
That's interesting.
makes a dive down on the 04, tries to take the lead away. I don't think she'll get it. She made a pretty big send into turn 3 there,
No,
but
you can't pass. You can't pass when you're one-on-one on old tires. Unless the 04 makes some kind of mistake. Well, she kind of has now because she didn't go very far up.
I
But
think
she'll
the best
still be
bet
able
for
to
the
get that.
4 would be to just kind of get back in line here, but she's still trying. She's still fighting this. She's still
which
pressing
is
the
kind of-
issue.
Which is pretty idiotic considering they were more than half a second ahead, which is quite a lot here. It's when the drafting effect starting to cool down. So that wasn't a great call from her.
4th
again.
place in the championship has changed hands. The 55 has taken it away from the 2. 55 has moved up to 15th spot.
That's a good job by Deborah Williams, even though they're not necessarily gonna win the championship at this rate. That's still pretty good, and yeah, they might end up what, third or fourth?
Well, she's
probably-
4th right now. She's fighting for 4th right now with the 2 car.
Yes, but I don't get the confidence that the 42 of Van Lundquist will be able to stay in that lead pack. She's not been that quick. She's
Well-
basically at the back of that lead pack for the whole time.
I will say, Freya Van Lundquist has won a title in this kind of format at this very track before, when she won in the ISRC Season 2 championship. So anything's
Interesting.
possible. Van Lundquist has experience with this kind of thing.
We'll see if that goes. I have my doubts, but because right now the 96 trying to take back third.
Yeah, Leah Azelhart in the 16 car took that away, and interestingly enough to note for Leah Azelhart, this team is closing down. They are not. They're not returning next season. So
Yeah, it could be a good send-off, but I mean, we'll see.
they've got 2 cars in the top 10 right now because the 60 is in the top 10 right now as well. There's the 12 of Kennedy. The 12 is pretty. There's where the 12 is. It's the 12, 60, and the 66 is the other car, and the 66 is at the back, 28th right now. He's kind of at the tailing on the pack right now. 4 car looking to the inside again on the 04. But again, I
Stop
think
doing that.
best bet.
That won't work.
Jump in line right now.
My goodness, how many times you try to take the lead so early and for no good reason? Genuinely. Now the 96 coming back.
See, I'd say
That
bonus
last
points,
second.
but the championship cars don't gain bonus points.
No, there's no point. There's no bonus points. There's no point to this, and now look at it. The 96 might go for second soon enough, and for the championship lead, because the
Yeah, but again,
4 was too
now the
greedy.
96 would fall, I think, into the same problem that the 4 would, because the help is
No,
way
'cause the-
far back.
Well, the 96 could take the draft of the 04 if she goes outside.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's there, and that's not there for first place. So
there's this group. They are all fighting still back here. I mean, this is about 9th to 20th, I want to say. Kind of all just in this mess of everybody. .42 still kind of tailing this pack, and in fact, it's possible the 42 could lose this pack, but I'm not 100% certain that that's going to happen.
well, I think just based off the pace, she lost the pack for one time. She already lost the balance once, so.
I think that was more
It's
just
possible.
because the pack she was in lost it, and when she got to the lead, she managed to catch back up to it, so.
Yeah, that's possible too. But yeah, look at that. She's not really keeping up. So unless they start battling in front, that could keep her back in. And they're kind of battling. That's
That's the 14 and the 16, Edelstein and Leah Azelhart.
little battle for 5th right now.
5th
But
place,
not really.
Azelhart will
It's
hang
good
on
to
to
be
it.
over.
I mean, Liz Roberts is now looking to try to get past the 96. Yeah, I mean, the tires have just worn out too much, I think, at this point.
Yeah, there's not enough happening. I think right now these drivers gonna start looking at maybe possibly doing an undercut.
Yeah, I think at this point you want to start
Or
thinking about tires and pit stops and when you're going to come down pit road.
Considering how much the tires are just. Although, okay, so the pit window is about 60 laps. That would.
About 60 laps. That would be a 3-stop race.
Yeah, I mean, if you overcut the hell out of this, and considering how much lift and coast you could do around here, you could possibly overcut it. It's not impossible. We see somebody attempt that. Just
I mean, I
lifting,
wouldn't
coasting,
hate
and
an
maybe-
overcut strategy, but I think
Not-
if I
not-
want to do an overcut, I don't want to do it on the last run.
No. I mean, well, I would start right now. I would just try to cut one pit stop short.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe not from that front pack, but you know, Ramos and Williams that are farther back.
It might be their only chance, yeah.
I mean, if this stays green, then this doesn't look like it's gonna be a big caution fest. Probably their only chance.
That is kind of typical of Homestead. It's not usually that much of a caution fest. There's not usually a lot of incidents that happen at this track that...
I mean, it's so wide that you have a lot of place to avoid once the crash begins, you don't have a lot of place to avoid it, just because you're sort of in momentum. And before a crash happens, you can just sort of slow down a lot to avoid it and still have pace.
5th place still battling here. That's the 14 of Edelstein, the 16 of Leah Azelhart.
Yeah, that's about as much of an overcade you can do on here. And is it gonna work? Maybe, but are they gonna put themselves out of that lead pack a bit? Maybe. Oh, that 45, that 42 is completely gone now.
She's dropped off
It's
the she's dropped off the lead pack right now.
Yeah, that's over.
She's
just
gonna
doesn't
drop
have
into
her
this
pace.
second group, but again, that's not. I don't think that's terrible.
Well, it's not horrible, but it's she could, if she tries the undercut, she could come back in there, but
Yeah,
I mean, good luck on that. I don't. It's. I don't get the feeling that she has the pace, at least this early.
maybe not in the late run. I think she might have the pace in the early run. The 4-car looking to the inside
Yeah,
again.
but that's considering how long the pit strategy is here. Doing 60 lap on the tire, you can win by just being good on the early
Four
run.
car looking to the inside for the lead again, and I would say that might be dangerous if the 96 was up here, but the 96 has really been losing time. The 96 actually is still on the outside trying to fend off the 14
Look at
right
the
now.
45 might come in support here.
Yeah, Liz Roberts.
Or actually, the 4 is kind of in a good position. That was a good
That was a good run.
good pass for once.
Good run off the off turn number 4 there.
I think the 04 maybe just burned their tires a little bit more, and that's starting to affect how well she can run it outside without going into the wall, and that's the number one concern here this early in the race.
4-car kind of checked up there a little bit too much, I think,
Yep.
to keep fighting for the lead right now. I thought she had a good run, but the 04 actually did end up kind of running the corner a little deeper. How about the 55? Look at the 55. She's actually managed to get up here. She's kind of getting close to the
impressive,
top
yeah.
10.
That's a good recovery.
It is not over at all if you're Deborah Williams. So
Well,
in
it's
fact-
not over, but it's not great.
we're
but,
getting pretty close to having 4 championship battling cars in the top 10. So
The top 10 has, well, yeah, but bottom of the top 10 is 4 seconds back from the race lead, and at Homestead, 4 seconds is a lot to gain. This is not
That is a
easy
lot,
to
yes.
gain time at.
But I think another thing is once we get those stops, once everyone is on different tire strategies, I think we're gonna see. That's when we're gonna see, things kind of happen.
Yeah, I think that's gonna help it. I think the fact that basically everyone outside the top 10 is in a big pack right now is gonna help that second pack maybe come back to the race lead. I just think that it's a lot to ask for of them at this point.
Everybody's kind of running long at the moment.
Yeah. Well, if they're all running about 65 to 70 laps instead of 60 to 70, that's gonna.
I mean, a 2-stopper could be possible on that kind of timing.
Yeah, and in that case, that's gonna be a very special final laps. It's gonna be. Because some cars are not gonna make it, but the 4 is coming in.
4, I believe, is in. So is the 45. Yep, these cars are coming in early. Look at a few cars in the back coming in this early as well. The 2 of Rachel Ramos is coming in now. The 25, the 12 is in.
The fact that Jones coming in with help is gonna help a lot. So I think Jones might get the race lead off of this if she has a good pit stop.
I think so.
All
They
right.
can go 65. If they go 65, they'd make it to. They would still have to stop at the end if they go 65 every time. They would still have to stop on lap 195 actually.
Oh, Force coming in, but look at it, a 96.
96
Trying the
just to stay
overcut. I
out.
would have thought the 96 would have trying to come in right after to protect her championship position. but that's not what she's doing right now. But to be fair, are any of the other, well, Williams and Vidlankas haven't come in.
They have not come in either. Yes.
Has Ramos come in? They're still staying out. The 96.
Ramos was in on the. Came in when the 4 did. The 55 is in now. The 42 is still out there.
Interesting. I think it's very interesting in the 96. Can we go and look if Jones passed the 04?
I'm going to check.
Why
I think the 04 is still exiting pit road at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the 4 has passed the 04, although again, I think the 04 is still getting up to speed, so we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, the 4 is probably going to pass her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes everybody else on the pit road.
Yeah,
42 is in,
quite big.
96 is in. 4 car does get by the 04.
Let's see how much time the 96 is lost now by staying out multiple laps on dead tires.
Again, the 96 making her stop now, so we're not going to get that. Oh, the 84. What?
Oh, something
on
happened.
The Earth? The 4 and the 84. Something's happened between these two.
I think there was contact outside of... I think they ran into the wall outside...
Cassidy Jones has big damage. Wow.
Oh, my word.
What happened?
That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. Because it's gonna be probably a lap of the damage repair at least.
And the 84 of Tammy Bird is damaged too. And this car is very slow. Might not even make it back.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we got a wreck. We didn't get a caution. We got a wreck.
Well, let me go and
96
see.
96 is gonna be... Oh, is the 55...
55 is ahead of the 96.
Oh, wow. Okay, staying out was not a good call at all.
In fact, I believe the 55 is actually the leader of everyone.
Oh, my...
44
Okay.
has a problem.
What? Okay, everything just started to happen in a few minutes now.
Okay. I'm going to catch up. Let's see. I want to see what happened to the 4 of Jones. She's on pit road.
I'm guessing it was a lapper and she just missed it.
It was the 84. There's
Yeah,
the
we were
84.
watching when this
84 is
happened.
slow. 84
Oh,
was very
wow.
slow. Oh dear.
Did the 84 have a problem?
I think the 84 might have run out of fuel or something.
And she hadn't
Actually,
fixed all damage.
the two of Rachel Ramos is the leader of everybody right now.
Well,
she's in
okay,
third.
so everything just flipped on their head. So the undercut, at least early, was a great strategy to take, visibly.
Yeah, that's on that undercut. Man, what could
But,
have been for
I don't
Cassidy
know,
Jones?
but-
I mean, it looked like Cassidy Jones was the favorite.
Oh, definitely. She was the quickest car, and by quite a lot, because Oswald was just not getting ground in the later stages. She was just stuck. Did I see the lights flashing there?
Don't
Was
think
that
you
a-
did.
Okay. It might have just been the camera.
Probably.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no. Yeah, that was... So Ramos, without showing any sign of pace today, really, is now leading the championship, but she's alone, and the drivers behind are in a big pack.
Here's the
So that
leader
might
right
not
now.
last for a long time.
Here's the leader. It's Liz Roberts in the 45. The 04 of Tremblay-Vaudreuil is in second. There's Ramos in third. But this group is pretty quickly going to be bearing down on her. The 42.
Williams that grew behind Ramos, so...
42 is even further behind.
Depending on if Ramos is quicker or not, she might not held that championship lead for a long time.
So Rachel Ramos leading the title race. Davenport, Hazelhart, Ableton Perez, Wilson make up 4th through 6th. Actually, Wilson, one of these cars... No. They make up 4th through 7th, excuse me. Deborah Williams is right here, fighting for 10th. As we have a car stopped on the apron of the racetrack. I think that was the... I couldn't tell who that was. No caution, we're still green.
No caution, the 11, I think.
I think that was the
I think it
11
was
of
Aya.
Takamoto Aya.
Yep.
Yes, it was the 11 of Takamoto Aya. Deborah
Ramos
Williams
is
is
on
under
the
the
last
top
of
10.
time. In fact, and so did the All-4 as well. So that means basically the 45 is going to be ahead. By
45 does have the
cycle.
help that she's kind of drafting off this lap car right now, the 31 of Ilotowski.
And yeah, the 04 and the
The
2
4
are
is
gonna be
pretty
in those
pretty
positions
off the
wide.
pace. The 4 has
The 4
several
has a lot of damage. They
multiple
didn't fix
seconds off
everything
the
on that
leaders, so I think it's championship over for Cassidy Jones.
car. Yeah, that's
Wait,
unfortunate.
Very, very unfortunate for it to end like that for her.
96 in terms of a position in the field.
96 is in 14th at the moment.
Oh, that's pretty good.
The
10
42 is in
seconds back approximately.
20th. 64, Moriyama's down pit road.
42 is just gone.
The 55 might have gotten a little slowed up. I couldn't tell. Ellie, you got what's going on the 44 and the 11?
Yeah, it looks like the 44 ended up having some sort of engine issue. I think we're, based off of what I'm hearing over her radio, it sounds like she lost a cylinder, and with Takamoto Aya, it just looks like her tire went down, and that's why she's on pit road right now.
The good news is Cassidy Jones has gained a position because Takamoto Aya spent 4 laps on pit road. So
That's great.
the 4 car's up
that's
to
absolutely great.
she's up to 37th.
Wow, that's a at this page she'll lead the championship again by a lap about 2,000, which is it's not quick enough, but if we turn this into a 7-day race, that could work. It's a 3-day rally stage.
Yeah, just Homestead Rally.
Yeah, basically, or now they used to have the Nürburgring 96 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Or it was it Buenos Aires, I forgot, but there was a track where they used to do 96 hours.
Russia, what do you got on strategy?
Yeah, well, for one, the 64 also lost a tire. She did manage to come down, and I don't think there's much damage on it, so they're just gonna fix it, just change the tire on that, so she'll lose less time than the 11 of Aya. And right now, strategy-wise, you see those 3 North Star cars all running in this front pack, the top 8, and I think that was on purpose right there. All 3 of them, I believe all 3 of them came in the first 2 laps of the cycle and employed heavy use of the undercut there. And I think I do think that was intentional. I think it's working for them right now. Ramos, of course, looking for second, just past Trombe Vaudrey. I think, yep, just cleared her, as they're seeing here. She's got help in the form of Davenport, who's run well, and Kathy Ableton Perez, who's also run well here. All 3 of them are in the top 8 right now, and it looks like they were originally planning to cover the 4 of Cassidy Jones, but now that she's out of the way, and the other 3 contenders are currently running in the teens right now. I think all 3 of them are in that kind of same second pack together. It's looking very good for the North Star cars right now, as we're watching the 4 of Cassidy Jones getting lapped here.
You can
That's
see.
really off the pace.
Yeah, it's slow.
She got lapped in less than 20 laps. That might. Yeah, she wasn't that far out the leaders when she came out. But I wonder if there's considering that's 2 tires failures in 10 laps.
Yeah.
There was a bit of debris from that.
I mean, that was a yeah. That
incident.
could have been debris. It could have just also been some teams may just not have gotten the tires off properly.
Well, it's possible, but 2 right after the pit stops is quite unusual. Usually,
Yeah.
you have a good pit crew around the series. But yeah, that was fine.
One car that's had a really good pit crew is Liz Roberts in this 45. I mean, they are gone. 4.5 seconds in the lead. And this is kind of looking a bit like some of the leads we saw some cars pull off at Rockingham in the Cup Series race last week. I mean, Roberts
Anyway,
is
that's
out
a
of here.
second. That's a second gain that's less than 10 laps on 45. So, not that they're all in the pack for second. I think they're gonna start maybe chasing down. And we're less than 20 laps. Well, no, we're about 20 laps into this cycle. So, at this point, this might look more. We might have a new leader before the end of this cycle. But right now, heavy gaps around the field. We have a bit of a pack, a sort of pack, in second and eighth, but
Yeah,
second,
and then this is
10th,
9th
that's
and
not
10th. 9th and 10th are
Yeah,
back here, and then you have this just whole mangle of cars back here.
yeah, Deborah Williams is not gonna do well here. At 8 seconds back, that's more than the pit stops you can. Whatever pit stops worth.
I guess
Gee,
maybe
second
it's-
at 4. Will they disqualify her at this point? Is that
I don't think they will. They typically don't disqualify you unless it's a plate track.
Yeah, but that's.
I mean, again, I think what she's hoping for, hopefully, maybe all of the other 4 cars, blow up or die or something, and and she can win the
Well,
title that way.
You never know what can happen. It'd be statistically unlikely, but you never know.
I mean, maybe we could have a crash take out all of the other 4.
Well, considering that 1 second, one's ninth, one's in 2 of them are outside of the top 10. That's relatively unlikely, I think. Oh no, actually, Oswald's 10th now.
Yeah, Oswald's 10th,
Oswald's
although she's
gaining
trying to hold
time.
off this group.
Oswald is on pure pace, clearly the fastest of these cars, but the strategy's not good. Strategy's really not good on a 96.
Look at the 26 of Robin Morales. That was an absolute send up to the high side. So
Honestly, I
Naomi,
think this.
Naomi Davenport was trying to make a move on Rachel Ramos.
I think this time what's going to be more interesting as we go along. I think we're going to have more passes than last time. Because the fast cars are kind of scrambled out around the field, and around this track, the difference between the slow and the fast cars are quite evident.
04 is pitting.
Yep. That's great. That's perfect.
That seems to be
That's-
unscheduled.
Huh?
That seems to be unscheduled.
Oh, okay, unscheduled. Okay, yeah. Yeah,
What do you think it was scheduled at lap 90? 30 laps after our last
Yeah,
lap?
I was thinking who are gonna fire today. But I guess I'm not. Well, I'm probably gonna fire somebody because whatever that mistake is,
96.
not great. 96 seconds second.
Rachi, you got an update on the 04?
Yes, Echo, that is another tire down.
Jesus!
That
Call the caution already.
that is another tire down right now. And we're definitely seeing tire issues here. I will definitely seeing tire issues here. Wonder if that's gonna bite one of these playoff cars. We'll just have to see, but definitely some issues going on with the tire. I'm surprised they haven't called a caution for debris of some sort, but I guess we'll just have to see. As I do think Dark Horse are also, on another strategy front, Dark Horse are also trying their diet version of whatever North Star we're cooking here. You can see the 55 and 96, and previously the 65 of Gray was also in this pack. So a lot of these teams are kind of working together to what do you call it? Kind of help their final 5 drivers out. No word on McMillan because apparently all of their cars may have fallen asleep other than 42 right now.
Yeah, I don't know where the other McMillan cars are. Where are the other McMillan cars? Because it's
Far away.
It's let's see, the 735 and somebody else.
In the ether of the midfield.
Oh, the 5.
Nice.
That's right. There's the 7 back in 27th. There's the 5 back in 30th, and I don't even
When
think the
does some of
35
the cars-
qualified.
Weren't those some of the cars that got like out of the first pack, or out of the pack in general in that
I
first
think
round
so,
before the
yes.
first tour?
I think they might
Pretty
have.
sure. Whatever setup they have, it's a failure.
I mean, at least the
Yeah,
42 is
3
doing okay.
seconds. 3 seconds to race lead now. They cut back in more than another second in 10 laps.
Yeah,
Now
they've
we're gonna
closed.
have
They're closing up with the 45.
45 is, well, they may be the leader, but they're not gonna have a big gap before the end of this cycle. And that second pack's also catching up.
Yeah, this group is
It's
starting to
7
close.
seconds now. Oh, they catched up.
They caught up. They
More
caught up to
than
the
half a
leader.
second.
I don't know if they've caught up to this group though. That's what I'd be a little worried about. Are they catching up to this
Well,
second group?
I
To
think
this
they're going
side.
a little bit slower, but they're still catching up a bit. I think. I think it's not as consistent. Depends on whatever the group's doing.
How about Brandon Davis in the 88 car, moving up to the 9th position?
Yeah, now they've lost the leader has lost another almost second. You know what? If the 45 is in traffic or not or whatever, but that's
45 is
that's
by
very
herself.
severe now.
45 is by herself. So I think this is kind of just the leaders are gaining, or the second through whatever group is gaining, and
Yeah, at this point, they're about a second away from starting to have some kind of draft. This is
yeah.
we have a big gap difference, a big delta difference between the slow and fast cars whenever they catch up with the leader. We're halfway now, almost halfway.
Almost halfway. And then Continental Scalloway back in 34th at the moment. I'm not sure if something happened there. I think she's a lap down or something. Yeah, she's a lap down, so. Rasha, do you have any information on what's up with the 99 of Continental Scalloway?
Yep, Echo, I missed this one for a little bit as I was covering the 04 sudden entrance into pit lane, but the 99 also came in, I think, a few laps before the 04 to fix some sort of oil leak on that car. But otherwise, that's basically it. Just kind of dropped her a few laps down because of that, but she's back on her way and rolling back on track here. Quite unfortunate for the driver that qualified on the outside pole, though.
That's not good. You don't want to have a leak on the final race of the season. It's always embarrassing.
Okay, actually, interestingly, this group is starting to close up now, and we're seeing it right now. But because the bottom 2 cars from the front group pack kind of split off, they kind of tailed off. That's actually let these cars kind of draft up. Now, as well, they are having to get through this car, the 44 of Lulukani, who actually at the moment, who is still running, but she's running down a cylinder at the moment. So
that's not. Yeah, running down the cylinder. That's not great. That'd be pretty uncomfortable.
The 42 is
But,
about to pass both the 55 and the 96, by the way. So
Yeah, the 42. Well, they're all in the same pack, so at this point it's just whoever has the best track position at that exact moment. But look at that, there's a big gap forming because of that 42.
yeah,
It's quite
I mean-
a gap, and that might stay.
kind of got a little loose in the middle lane there. The 2 car of Ramos is doing all that she can to try and hold these cars behind her. She wants to keep this track position at the moment. They are still gaining on the leader of Roberts, but
Yeah, Ramos doesn't have the pace though. They're clearly trying to stay at the 16, and the 22 are faster than the 2.
the 2 of Ramos still trying to hang on to second, and she will do it right now. Again, look at how much they're kind of split apart here, because you see there's Robin Morales, who's in 7th spot, with Lexi Rockwood in 8th. That's both Project Horizon cars in the top 10. So this is a better run for them, that team. They've needed a run like this for a while. You see the 04, who's got fresh tires. We're just going to ignore this car because she's, I think, a lap down.
We'll see.
Well, I say we're going to ignore her, but she just is choosing to slot in behind these cars for some reason. I don't even know why she's not trying to pass.
And I think at this point, it's just why not? Doesn't have really anything to gain. So,
They've caught the 45.
yeah, that 45 is caught, and I believe the 45 is a quick car if we look at the first run. So
Yeah, but
45
she's
might be
on.
able to
She's
stay
going to be
there.
on the oldest tires here.
Yeah, and she's gonna have ran those tires down, being alone in our group.
Yeah.
So, well, the 45 is gonna have to go now for the aggressive strategy of just not. Oh, whoa! See that car there, the Fortnite Godzilla car.
That's the 64 Mori. That's more Mayumi
Yeah, that-
Moriyama.
That almost ran into the wall. That could have been. Well, I think that ran into the wall. In fact, it looks like it.
2 car finally loses this spot. Well, we are halfway through this race. 106 laps have just been completed. No caution flags so far in this one. It's been entirely clean here from Homestead, Miami Speedway. And with that being said, we are going to take you down to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our mid-race report in this one with Rasha and Ellie. What do you two got in the studio?
Please do not tempt fate, Echo. We are currently in the middle of a good green flag run, but watching the 2 of Rachel Ramos here, North Star Motorsports pulling a belter on strategy, but she's gonna get held up by the 4 of Cassidy Jones, who's coming down, who's falling down another lap here. Now we've moved on to the 42, kind of in that chasing pack. 42, I think, came in the latest of all of these of all the championship contenders, so she's got the best tires of all of them. But she's gonna have to do a little bit of work here. She's gotten to part 1 of the North Star screen. The 25 of Kathy Ableton Perez has kind of fallen back into the second pack. Right now, Ramos still stuck behind the 4 of Jones, though. Davenport, that's her teammate, has kind of broken away a little bit. We'll see if the 22 tries to help the 2 out, and try to catch back up here. Because the 2, I feel like it's going to be imperative for the 2 of Ramos to stay in this pack if she wants to secure the championship. Because otherwise, all 3 of the other contenders are currently chasing in this second pack right now.
I
But-
think the 22 is probably going to let the 2 draft off of her.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, and that's what she's going to do here. Just kind of stay at the back of this pack, help the 2 out, kind of try to get her back into this. But there's quite a few cars that are off cycle because of tires going down. The 04 of Tremblay Vaudreuil is right here, gaining ground. in the second pack. Similarly, the 64 of Moriyama is on slightly newer tires, having come down pit lane twice now. Has this pack now coming up on Jones as well. 42's on that outside. Gotta come into the inside quickly here. She's not gonna do that. 25 and the 42 are gonna stay stuck behind for now. 42's gonna try the outside. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, because the 4 is gonna be absolutely dog slow heading in towards this part of the track right now, and they're gonna be three wide here. 42's gonna lose a little bit of ground. You can see the 96 and 55 also hanging on to this pack as well. So things right now kind of just staying a little tentative as the 4 is doing her patent best to hold up apparently everyone else in this group, I guess.
Yeah, and she's really holding up the 42.
Yeah, 2 is now back in this pack, pushed past the 22 of Davenport.
Looks like they're being good teammates.
Yeah, looks like the what do you call it? The North Star cars are doing well. Just hold off each other here. And someone please take the 4 off the track right now. Good googly moogly. It is a real belter here. As down to 42, 55, and 96 are all within the pack, racing together here. Let's see, the pack ahead of them has actually kind of started to string out a little bit. That's interesting. Coming through here, 2 is definitely gotten a second win of pace. Look at this. The 2 of Ramos looking to pass the 46 now. And of all people, the 16 of Leah Azelhard has taken the lead. This is a Golf racing car taking the lead. This is their last race as an organization. Well, last weekend, I should say. This is a team that is in both series, of course. So they will be taking part in the Cup Series race as well. But looking for that last win perhaps here. Gotten a few wins already this season across both series, but maybe trying to get one last win for the organization before the team shuts its doors.
Oh,
And they're 3 wide, not necessarily all for second, but the 64 of Moriyama is trying to get a lap back here. Ramos
got a really strong run.
Yeah, the 2 has kind of gotten a second wind of pace. She's kind of really clawing back here, trying to take the overall lead. And I think that's going to be in her best interest to stay in this pack. The strategy, they've worked the strategy well.
Yeah, that's all she really has to do as well.
Yeah.
Just hang up here.
281, 83. The pack, you can see, is kind of really thinned out at the back here. But at the front, it's still fairly close. Moriyama has well passed them now. 16 and 14 now, side by side for the lead.
The 2 is following the 14.
Yeah. Like, if you're Ramos here, I feel like you're in the best position right now, because you're not in a position of you're not really chasing anything right now, because you have the gap. The 96, 42 and 55 are 5 seconds back right now, so they're not necessarily factors at the moment.
And they're really far back.
Yeah, but we are going to get to a second cycle of of pit stops within 30 laps or so, I think. About lap 130 to 140, I think that's going to be it. Actually, let's see, came in lap 65 to 67, so that would be around 130. And I think the strategy is to go for a late third stop, kind of like a last top up, I guess. As you can see here, the 96 and 42 fighting for third in the championship right now. The 55, I should say, is here. There's now a gap building between them and the 66. This is another Golf racing car. Then you have this gaggle of cars here, including the 25 and the 99. Another car that came in the middle of the in the middle of this cycle on these newer tires, came in for that oil leak, to fix that oil leak, put on some new tires, and is now gaining ground as well. That's, I think, something you're gonna have to look out for. All of these cars there's a few cars that are gonna be trying to claw their way past everyone here, while the main pack is fighting over positions on these older tires. But also, they are going to start catching cars that are on the same cycle as them. 31 of Petra Ilatovsky here, running 32nd. This is a car on the lead lap, on the same strategy as the leaders here, so things definitely thinning out now. We're starting to see multiple distinct packs, and Ramos is looking like the real beneficiary here, running third alongside in this kind of lead trio, I would say.
Yeah, Yeah, and I think it's smart the way she's driving it as well. She's not trying to push herself too hard. She's if she sees an opportunity to follow with the 14, she does take it, and that's a smart thing to do. But she's not trying to force it, and I think that's what you want to do. You don't want to do anything to shorten your gap between the rest of the playoff drivers.
Yeah, like right now, it's in their hands right now. Ramos is in a good position, albeit obviously on the oldest tires of everyone on this kind of pack, because she did come in the first wave of cars. But given the gap that they have, I don't think the cars on newer tires, the other three, are going to gain time. I think, at least not enough in this cycle to catch up, as the 2 now clears the 14. And almost, I feel like a distinct 1.5 pack here. Like, this kind of string of cars kind of all running together as well. Do wonder, as the 2 of Ramos now looks to the inside to try to take the overall lead of the race on the 16 of Leah Azelhart.
Leah Azelhart's fighting back.
Yeah, Azelhart again on that outside, but I think we're at the edge of the window where you can make these passes on the inside. As you can see, the 2 is making it work, but she needs to clear. She hasn't done so yet. And this is the thing, once you get deep into this tire run, it's going to become nearly impossible to make the inside line work. So right now, I think Ramos is trying to take the lead, kind of just to potentially go for that double, for that double victory here.
Yeah.
But the 16 is going to keep the lead on the outside, as the 99 now of Karina Willis Calloway encroaches upon them. Another car on fresh tires coming up. Oh, she's gonna be on the outside though. She's gonna kind of be boxed in though. Gotta be a little patient here. And you do want to be patient, because these are 2 cars. One of them is fighting for the championship. One of them is fighting for a race win. You're not necessarily in this kind of position, but she's gonna go try to look to the outside, try to pass them all on the outside. But 16 is gonna close the door and say nuh-uh. And she's actually going to push Azelhart a little further ahead of Ramos here. And I mean, tire differentials have already been a problem for some of these drivers. We saw what happened to the 4 of Cassidy Jones, running up into a slower car, although we don't quite know what happened to that. Was it the 84 or the 82? One of those cars, I think. One of the Uberman cars that were really slow at the in that pit cycle, and the 4 just ran right into the rear end. As the 99 now, not clears, but will clear very soon here.
There she goes.
Yep. Looking back here, trying to check where the other 3 are. There they are. The 42 is here, running 13th. 14th is the 55. 16th is Lynn Oswell. And they're all kind of making their way through here. Checking in on Davenport, who was running with Ramos earlier, is down to 6th place now. Kind of while these the 2 Project Horizon cars are starting to catch up, which is interesting. That's 2 of the cars that took tires a little bit later, starting to catch up on this pack now. Back to the 16 of Azelhart. What do you think of the strategy, though? Right now, obviously the cars that came in early and took the undercut kind of won out very quickly, but do you think they can repeat that result in this second pack? And B, do you think anyone potentially might go for a 2-stopper and try to run long to the very end here?
Oof, that is a mix of. There's honestly a lot of strategies you could try and could benefit you. I think the only one where you wouldn't benefit for the kind of position they're in right now would be an undercut. I'm not sure how valuable it would be. I mean, especially with the possibility of drivers trying to make it a 2-stopper. I think you want to overcut or 2-stop it, and I think do either of those, you're making a really good case for yourself.
Yeah, and with that, I think it is a good time to go to our FanDuel Fan Picks segment now. Obviously, right now, we're watching their 2 leaders here, or 3 leaders actually, the 14 just in the background there. What do you think of this? What do you think of this right now? This situation right now is interesting because we're seeing some cars start to chase down the pack right now. Who do you think has a really good, will have a great chance at potentially putting themselves in a winning position come the end of this race, Ellie?
Well, I think I'm going to make 2 picks here. I think I'm gonna make 2 picks for 2 different things. I think that 2 has got it for the championship. She looks like the strongest, and I think her strategy will come out just fine if she well for this 2 team. Hopefully for them, they will have a good strategy. I think it's going to be them. I think they're gonna have a good strategy. And for the win of the race, I'm not sure if it will be the 2. I think the smart thing you wanna stick 3rd or 2nd just to keep building a gap. I'm not sure who I would pick for the race win. I mean, there's a lot of cars who look strong who are obviously outside of the championship bubble, and not sure who to pick for the race win there.
Well, for the race win, I might go with possibly the most contentious pick ever. What might be the most contentious driver in this series. I feel like ever. The 78 of Lexi Rockwood is closing down on this pack. And I feel like she's put herself in the prime position on strategy to kind of decide her fate here. I think both. Oh, as the 45 coming in here, we might get to the start of a second cycle very soon. The 78 came in later, stayed out a few laps, kind of lost that initial track position, but is gaining that right now and is about to pass the 14 of Edelstein for 3rd overall here. She can kind of decide when to come in for the second cycle here because she has the flexibility of these tires. She can, of course, forego these slightly fresher tires and come in early, try to undercut the 16 and the 2, or she can kind of run long and potentially set herself up for a 2-stopper as well. I feel like these cars that came in a little bit later might have might very well put themselves in a place where they have the initiative to decide their own fate, how many stops they're going to take in this final run. And I'm sure the 78 of Rockwood will be one of those cars if they can make it to the end of the race here, as we're seeing more championship contenders coming in. 222. 2 coming in with the 22, actually. And with that, we'll take it back to the booth where Echo and Ludovic will call the rest of the race. And we'll see you guys at the end of the race here.
Katrin Edelstein in the 14 car has taken the lead with Lexi Rockwood right in tow. Robin Morales in 3rd. Lou, do you have a pick for the race and maybe the championship as well?
I think there's going to be a caution, and I think the caution will be at the end of the race during that final bit of pit cycle that's going to be between the last 10 laps. So I'm gonna pick. I'm not gonna pick a driver, but I'm gonna pick whoever is last to pit this time. Because I think with the cycle of pit stop being this late, it's possible that if we have a late caution, whoever pits last will be able to stretch it on fuel.
66 Ani Starchev coming down pit road. You see most of the other cars, Edelstein, Morales, Quinton staying out right now. Von Lundquist is in. Williams is in. Oswell staying out long here. Oswell's going to be the last championship car to pit. All right. In that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with probably a pick that is going to surprise not very many people. I'm going to take the 42 for Von Lundquist. I still think she has it in her. I still think this car is very fast. She just hasn't had the right strategy. She's kind of been shuffled with starting in the back. But I still think this 42 has the car to win the race and the championship in this one.
It's very much possible, I think. I mean, she's quick, but I don't know if she's necessarily on the right strategy, picking sort of that middle of the order. I don't think you want to be stuck in the middle. I think you want to pit.
I think the 96 I think the 96 stayed out another lap. I think the 96 stayed out a second lap, and I think she's finally coming in this time.
She overcut like crazy last time, so that makes sense. But at 134...
16 is slow on the apron. That's the race leader before the caution.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. That's the second time it has happened. That's funny.
She'd just come out of pit road and that happens.
Well, I think Yeah, I think that 96 might be able to stretch it just on this alone, because she pitted 134. That's gonna put her at what, 196, 97?
Something like, she might be able to make it to the end. I feel
Yeah,
like
that
most of these
might-
cars can make it to the end.
I don't know that, because most of them are more than 5 laps out, which is a lot
Yeah.
to stretch.
That's a lot to save.
But we don't know. And if there's a caution, they'll probably all be able to stretch it.
Here is the leader of the race. The 04, because she's off cycle, is actually the leader of the race right now.
The caution would be great right now, and I have no bias.
Second right now is the 64, who also had that issue, who also had a mechanical issue of her own. Then the
Yeah, somebody has
99.
damage.
That is the who is that has damage? That's the 84, I think.
That
was- she got-
a white car.
Was it white car? Was it the 44? Hold on.
No, maybe I'm estimating, but I'm pretty sure I saw someone with damage.
I think it's the 44 of Lulucani here.
No, that might be yeah, that might be it. All right. Well,
Here's where Liz Roberts is. In fact, Roberts actually cycled out behind the 2 of Rachel Ramos. So as it stands on net lead, it would be the 2 of Rachel Ramos leading the race.
yeah, Ramos
And hopefully, the 42 can actually
Ramos
navigate
seems
around the 4
surprisingly
this time.
quick. She didn't have a great first run. Then she just was sort of able to just fly away in the clean air. I think she has a car that works well better when she doesn't have somebody in front of her. So a
You
lot
can
of
see how
people-
slow the 04 is, though. Like, look at this 04 car right now. You can kind of see how slow she is, just because
Well, the fall off is what, 3 seconds?
about 3 to 4
4
seconds. I think it's about 4 at
Yeah.
the most. The
Yeah.
04 is running, let's see, she's running 34 twos, and these cars that are on fresh tires are running about 32 twos. So she's about 2 seconds off.
That's no. The issue is when she comes in, she got to be careful not to have somebody down the her inside.
By the way, the
That could be-
04, who is the leader on these old tires, is running slower laps right now than the 4 car.
Well, yeah, because if the 4 car doesn't have 3 seconds of mechanical damage, I would imagine. That makes a lot of sense.
The 99 is getting passed back here the 99 is getting passed back here for positions. You see the 2 and the 45 have moved up to second. In fact, the 45 is actually taking second away from Ramos. I think the 2 car has the best shot, though. I think the 2 car just has the best bet for this title right now. But, I mean, the 2 car's in the best position. But having the best position 60 laps out is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee of anything. 17 seconds out, and the 55 and 42 are 27 seconds out. So it's 10 seconds that those 2 have got to make up to get to the 2 of Rachel Ramos. I don't think that kind of gap is unattainable. '64 has finally come down pit road, and the 64 was off cycle anyways, so...
Yes.
There's the
But,
96 back in 20th.
Yeah, the 96 out of it. The 96 is basically out of it.
Might be
That's
too
it.
far back.
The 55 could maybe stretch it to race lead if, but that's not.
I mean, the 96 is on the
Likely.
freshest tires of everyone.
Yeah, I mean the 96 has the most fuel. I think tires are not gonna matter that much. more than the fuel is gonna matter, because the latest you can pit, the more time you're saving on pit road.
45 pins the 2 car behind this lap car of Takamoto Aya, and Aya's actually going to come down pit road here now.
This has, the fact that this has not had a caution to this point, it's simply amazing, right?
Yeah, it is
When you-
very much surprising me. We have not had a yellow
we
flag
had
yet.
a lot of mechanical failures, and we had some cars running out of fuel as well, I think.
Yeah.
So that was quite impressive. in
I'm
this
surprised
practice.
the incident with the 4 and 84 wasn't as bad as it could have been, because that one could have
Well-
been really bad.
Yeah, the fact that they had that much car control, that really saved it all. But that's not necessarily going to be it.
The 04 is still losing multiple seconds a lap. 34.5 on the last lap compared to the 45 who ran a 32.8.
Considering how slow the 4 is, it's not impossible that we see some kind of crash with the 4 still in this race.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be terribly surprised.
Or the 04, considering how slow the 04. I just realized, is the 04 in position to win this race?
No, she still has another pit stop. The 04 is going to have to pit again here. When that's going to be, I have no clue. I think she pitted around lap 90, so that would put her stop at around 155, 160-ish.
Yeah. You know, she has to pit one again.
She does have to pit at least one more time.
But so does most everyone else.
I'm not sure if everybody else actually has to
Actually-
pit.
If they have to pit, I think the 04 might be in position for the race lead here. Because
Maybe.
she was the car leading when the cycle was over.
Yeah.
So,
Although I think she ended up
It's-
losing the lead.
well, she ended up losing the lead, yes. But, I guess we'll see, but I think it's possible that these cars off strategy, if this stays green and everybody has to pit, might just lock into a win.
It's an 8-second gap now between the 2 and the 55, by the way.
The 04 is deep.
There's the 04 and the 4. This is a battle of slow and slower. 99 is down pit road. Karina Willis-Calloway. Again, she was also off cycle.
Now, I think right now what the 2 has to do is be careful, because you don't want to lose the championship. I don't think I'd be battling for a race lead at this point, because the second place championship car is probably outside the top 10.
It's actually in the top 10 right now, Deborah Williams is. She's in 9th.
Oh yeah, I didn't see her. Well,
Yeah, and it's an 8-second
She's-
gap from Ramos to Williams.
she's 8 seconds behind, so it's not a big concern.
Not right now, but that could obviously change. 99 exiting pit road. And they are going to catch the 04 here.
Yes, and they need to be careful doing that, because you never know what can happen. It doesn't necessarily need to be a big crash, just a bit of damage, and
Yeah.
at a racetrack like Homestead, that can be very significant.
45, Liz Roberts going to take the lead away.
There you go, they'll cleanly get out of the way.
22 is up here as well. There's the 55 and 42. The 04 is still holding some of these cars up. The 22 is third. 42 is, the 55 and 42 both are into the top 10. 7.5 seconds now to the 55 from the 45. And the 99 is going to be on much fresher tires here as well, so... I mean, we've gone 150 some laps into this race and no yellow flag, which I think has kind of surprised everybody. I think we thought that you know, we'd see at least 1 or 2 yellow flags.
Well, yes, but it's not early, but it's not late either. We're still in the middle of the race.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible that we see a yellow flag. With look at that. Man, that the four had to take some action here to not hit the wall. It's a massive correction she did.
There's the 42 and 55. 42 is actually trying to take this spot away. That's second in the title race.
It's second in the title race.
It's
Well,
ninth
maybe
on
they
the
could get-
racetrack.
Maybe they could get a few positions ahead, but I don't think they can make it to the front.
2 car, oof. That was kind of close there with the 45.
Keep in mind we're getting deeper into the night, where getting the track is changing, so it's starting to get trickier out there. We started was the sunset, and now it's
Yeah, we started in the
Completely
sunset and now it's completely under the lights.
that's the few degrees of difference, and that changes how you drive.
04 finally down pit road. See the 22 trying to take second away from the 2 of Ramos. .3 seconds from the 42 to the leader, the 45 of Liz Roberts. And you see Ramos trying to hold off the 22 right now.
Yeah, but it's hard, but at the same time it's not really useful, because I mean, I don't know if they're telling her how far the other contenders are, but that's, and the fact that there's a 3-second gap between 7 and 8. I think that's what makes it impossible. It's the fact that there's such a massive gap. There's basically 2 packs of difference between them.
Yeah, there's a 3
Yes.
seconds between the 42 and the 25 who's tailing this group up right now.
Yeah.
The 2's got a big run on the outside though, trying to take the lead away from the 45.
Because you can possibly gain on 1 pack in a cycle, but you can't gain on 2. That's just not the amount of luck that would be
I think what
needed.
this group really wants to do, is catch these cars. Catch these cars
Yeah.
that are kind of tailing up right here, and then try and run down the leaders with them. Here comes the 22,
that's-
Davenport.
That's what they should do. Issue is we're on lap 160 now. The pit cycle was a good 20 laps ago. We're getting very far into this race, and they're running out of time for that strategy. There needs to be something to cut the gap. That's not just them having a bigger pack, or else that's not gonna work. Because they're not gaining time.
They are gaining
now,
time. The
leader.
42 did
Well-
gain on the leader at the very least. They gained, the 42 gained
Yeah, they
about
gained
0.2 of a second.
in 20 laps. That's not enough. You need to gain a second in, well, now in more than 10, in 5 laps, basically. I mean, less than 5, considering they probably need to be there before the pit cycle.
If we have a pit cycle at the end.
Well, if we have a pit cycle, but I mean, I think we will. We do think we will, just because, especially for the cars that pitted early, that's 10 laps of fuel
Yeah.
to save in one run. That's basically impossible.
42 still gaining here on the leaders, even through all this. They're still gaining. The 2 car trying to make a run up to the high side again, trying to take the lead away. Ramos wants a lap led, and she will get the lap led. Won't get a point for it. .42 still gaining. She's gained a lot. She actually gained about 4/10 that lap, so... I mean, it's not... I don't think it's over. But I think it's going to kind of predicate on these cars. These cars need to lose a lot more time. And with them running side by side, they're still losing time.
Yeah. And I think that's quite silly for them to do. But, I mean, yeah, right now they're losing... Yeah, when they run side by side, they're losing about 2/10 a lap. Which is just about enough to catch them.
Well, Roberts doesn't care. Roberts has a race to win. Ramos has to start thinking.
I know, it's Ramos' fault.
Yeah.
Ramos should not do that. Ramos should just accept finishing second or third because it's the championship that matters. The big cash prize is the championship. Now they're running 3 wide in that second pack. What kind of videos are they?
Katja Niedelstein is trying to push the issue here, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but let her through.
You still want to go single file, and that's hurting the 42 because these cars at the front were running too wide, and the 42 is only able to gain about 1/10 of a second. Now the 42, as they started to filter back through, gained 3/10 of a second.
The 55 just needs to let her through. There's no point in this. But hey, I mean, look, these are Continental. This is Continental. They're not Cup drivers, so they don't have the experience in this kind of championship battle. So they make those dumb mistakes. You know, they're still side by side for that first place because why not at this point?
Well, they're not side by side right now.
They're not side by side anymore, but they were side by side last time they passed through. I'm pretty sure.
Now they're side by side for 8th.
Yeah. Just why? Why?
I don't know why the 55's going for it, but the 2's going side by side here anyways, so... Trying the inside lane. Davenport's...
Well, they gained another second in about 10 laps. That's not enough, but it's a good effort, but it's not enough right now. That's why they just need to stop being side by side. I think they've proven that if they stay in a single line, they could battle. They could do it.
Yeah, Ramos has the lead.
But they're not doing it. Now we're getting 30 laps to go soon enough. And now you're gonna make a second in less than 10 laps. You're gonna make a second in, well, not 5 at this. Wow, actually, that was a pretty good gain this time by.
Yeah, I mean they are starting to pick up more time at the line.
Yeah, I don't know if Ramos is burning her tires a little bit quicker, but. Yeah,
Wondering where the 96 is. The 96 at the moment still is in... Well, she's in 18th. She's gained 2 positions. Over. I don't think the 96 has it. She's too far back.
The 96 was over when that... The 96 could work if she's able to stretch it and everyone else can't. Which is a possibility considering how much she's overcutting. But... I don't know. It's very late that they're pitting. That's still 4 laps in fuel that she's gonna make up this time.
Man, Rachel Ramos almost put a testy block on a lap car there.
Yep, that was not the greatest piece of driving.
That is a 4/10 of a second gain for the 55. in 8th place.
No, that's massive.
But
That's
now
massive.
they're
They
still
can't
side by
make
side,
that.
but they now have the draft off this 25 car.
Yeah, and I wonder if the 25 is going to be able to stay in that pack, probably, and that's going to improve significantly their chances. Look at that 04.
04's on fresh tires, so is the
tires.
64. So those two kind of don't really matter here.
Well, yeah, but they couldn't bring a bit of draft for a lap, and
Yeah.
actually a very quick draft.
Actually, the 42 lost time.
Well, yeah, because they were forced up high, and
Yeah, they were forced offline. Ramos is starting to slide back here. She's been kind of kicked out by the 5 and the 45, and now the 22 as well, trying to get to the inside. The question does this become a race where they have to pit here at the end, or can they make it? Can they make it to the end? Caution free through 173 laps from Homestead. I'm starting to believe we'll go caution free to the end.
yep. I mean, it's likely. We haven't had a lot of mechanical failures in that second part of the race, which is surprising, to say the least.
They've gotten by the 25 now. And they're only 4 seconds back. They gained a second in 4 laps. So
Yeah, that was a great.
so this
That's
is
great.
this is what they need to be doing. This is exactly what they need.
I think they're running out of steam up front. I think this is. We're seeing really the difference in strategy now
Yeah.
starting to play out. But that window is probably going to be closing in about 10-15 laps when this pit stops start to happen.
Yeah. And again,
And-
that's where I'm kind of questioning, is because it's about the window opens again for some of these cars about lap 190 or so.
Yeah,
Those
and
final
not-
10 laps are gonna be,
messy.
yeah.
Not Lionel, but it's genuinely. But when you get in the extremely late stage, you just can't make passes anymore. We've seen that a few times already. So they only effectively have about, I think, 10 laps to make the ground up. And I don't know if that's possible. But that second pack is gaining also.
Yes.
And I think that might be the savior here. The fact that second gap, group is basically now up front.
42 and
that-
55 are still side by side, but they're going 3 wide here with these cars. So
Why? Man. Thanks to the 04, I guess. Who's in front in terms of the cars off strategy, just in case?
of the cars off strategy right now, I believe it is the 04.
Yes. Yes.
In fact, the 04 is on the lead lap now.
Well, that's great. But
The 66
No,
of Ani
right.
Starchev may be the car that goes for the lead. Here's the 42 and 55, still side by side, but they've gained another second, and again, in another 4 laps. So they're down to 3 seconds
they're-
behind the lead.
they're gaining a lot now, but their window is seriously closing down. And I wonder if now these lead cars are going to start to be helped by that second pack.
They've got a draft off the 78 of Rockwood here, but after that, they won't have any draft until they get to these leaders. The 82 of Zoe Quinn, I believe, is on fresh tires.
Yeah, and you know what it's they're still side by side, and they're still staying side by side. And
They've
that's
been
not
side
what
by
you wanna
side, the
do.
42 and 55 have been, and they've still been able to gain quite a bit, even while being that side by side. The 66
Yes,
of Starchev is now up to second, challenging Roberts for the lead.
At this point, the thing is, if they were still side by side, if they gain a second in 4 laps, I would still put them. I would put down about lap 196 when it would come down to the leaders, which is in the middle of the pit cycle.
It's 2 seconds.
2.6. The 42 to the leader. It's 2 seconds, the 42 to the 2. And the 2's stuck. The 2's kind of behind some more lappers. 66 of Starchev has taken the lead.
Yeah, the two's out of it. Completely out of it.
I think the 2's burned up her stuff at this point.
No, yeah, no, definitely. The two's on very old tires.
It's 1.7 now from the 42 to the 2.
And the two was on the undercutters, I believe, right?
The 2 was one of the cars that undercut. The 42 and
Yeah,
55 kind of overcut it a little bit.
Yeah, so the two's not going to be able to make it in fuel, I'm pretty sure. Considering
don't
how
know.
slow they're going now, that doesn't indicate to me cars that are.
22 to the outside,
Same
trying to
fuel.
take third away from the 2.
In fact, I don't think the two could make it on tires alone.
If I'm Von Lundquist, I want to try to follow this 82, at least try to keep a draft on the 82, because the 82 has a little bit fresher tires than me, and that 82 is going to kind of punch a bit of a hole right now.
Yes, and, well, to be fair, it's also the only draft available, so...
Yeah. But I think the 42 is going to get there. I don't think the 42 is going to win the race.
No, but the race is out of play for all of these cars. They're not on the good strategy.
I think the 66
But that's not-
may honestly have this one locked up, because I don't really know if any of these other cars can get to the 66. But what I do think...
Because I really just think the 04 is going to win it if it comes to everybody doing a pit stop.
If everybody has to pit, yes.
But I don't see how they're racing so hard.
If they can go 70 laps, I think the
That's-
2 could make it. But I don't think
think they
I don't
could.
think I don't think that's possible.
The thing is, I think it's they've raced too hard all cycle long for
Yeah.
them to be able to make it to the end. Maybe the 96 or maybe one of these cars that's more at the back is going to be able to make it. But these cars up front have all just been full pin the entire way through.
Look, you can see the 2 and the 42 are in the same view now, and they're only split
Yes.
by a second.
And keep in mind, when these two are going to start fighting, that could put the 55 in pretty
Yeah.
easily and make this a 3-car battle for the championship lead. It's not over.
It's not over.
The tires are so dead right now. Look at it. They're having such hard time making these passes.
I mean, the 44 is
Or
down a
gaining
cylinder at
time.
the moment, so
No, not the 44, but just I'm talking the cars in front as well. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody's just targeting right now. Which is going to make it hard to overtake the 2, because there was 3 cars between them at this point. Still.
there's a lot of lap cars in here too as well. Keep in mind that the 5 car is a lap down.
Yes, but they've been able to keep pace, so
Yeah, the 5
The
car has been
fact
up with
it's a
most
lap
of these
down.
leaders for a good while.
the fact it's a lap down doesn't matter that much. Might still block the 42, and in fact right now she is blocking the 42.
Yeah, but the 42 would rather be blocked by the 5 than the car that's down a cylinder in the 44.
Well, yeah, certainly, but still not an ideal position to be in.
Ramos has gotten a little bit of a break here.
I think it helps that everybody's single filed out.
Everybody's pretty well
Fine.
single file. You see the 84 of Tammy Bird, who's kind of just driving past. The 66 is out front by a second and 1.3 seconds.
There's a massive gap here, by the way. That's major.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, the drivers that are staying out the longest will be able to just cut their time.
Well, the drivers that stayed out the longest, I think maybe could make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, they could, but if they can't, they'll also be able to cut their time in the pit lane
Yeah.
by a couple seconds. And considering how tight this pack has become, again, the 2 could just lose it on a pit lane.
Yeah,
The 42 doesn't need to overtake on track.
absolutely. This could very well come down to pit strategy.
Well, I think she might, though.
She might, though. She's there.
Oh, look at this.
The Von Lundquist is closing up to Ramos here. She is there.
There's a 5 between them, and considering how quick the 5 seems to be now...
The 5 is a teammate of the
just-
42, by the way. I figure I'll just let you know this, but that is a team car to Von Lundquist.
And the 5's going side by side. Oh my god.
We are at our Windows 11 to go. Ani Starchev leads, but the championship is anyone's game. It's Ramos and Von Lundquist right next to each other.
And the pit window is open. Look at this, and now they're going to be both in the same lane. It's going to be a question of when can the 42 come down?
Rasha,
These old tires, passes take a long time to go.
Rasha, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, speaking of tire issues, the 81 also had to come in a little bit earlier here to what do you call it, to replace a tire that was going down as well. I
Oh!
think that just happened here. So we'll get back to you here. What the championship championship race is happening here.
Side by side for the title, it's Von Lundquist trying to take it away from Ramos. And
She's
the
done it!
and the 42's out front for now.
55, by the way, just got in the 4 wide situation while we were doing that pit report, and I think she's out of it.
She's pretty well stuck back there. The 10 car has actually managed to move through. The 42 has taken the spot from the 2. She's trying to get around Robin Morales now.
Oh, that inside lane's not great usually, though. That's not... And look at that, the 2's gonna fight back now.
Trying to get the
I'm
run
pretty
back on the
sure.
outside.
Because that 42's just got stuck on that insane lane. That's just... Inside lane, it just does not work. And now they're side by side again.
Well, the 42 got by
45.
on the inside. The 45 is slow.
Pitting
45
in.
is pitting. 45 is coming down pit
Oh,
road.
no.
And that could spell doom for all these cars that pitted early. Because the 2 was one of them. I think the 2 pitted around a lap after the 45 did.
We'll see. But they need to be careful as well not to run out of fuel, because that would be pretty close to the end of the race. Especially if they come in.
The 2 is coming in, I think. Yes, she's in.
Yes.
Ramos cannot make it.
But that's
I don't know if
the
anybody
42
can make it.
Well, I'm trying to think of it. The 96 pitted what? 5 laps after the 2?
I think it was 2.
2?
I think it was 2 laps after the 42 came to pit road. So that would have been a... Yeah, actually, no. If you're talking about the 2, I think that's about 5 laps, yeah.
2, yes. So, puts it about lap 97, and we haven't seen the 96 all of this third stage, so we don't know. She could have been saving
She
fuel
could have been
here.
saving. Where is the 96 right now? There's where she is in 15th.
No, she's alone. That's not great to save fuel, though, being alone like that.
Yeah. Von Lundquist is second.
By the way, what did the 2 pit in for?
Looks
know.
like right sides and a splash of fuel
Oh,
for the
it's
two.
a splash of fuel only, so she's not gonna came. Actually, pitting for tires. That's interesting.
Right side tires. That might be a gamble
Ooh.
on if they have to come down, on if everybody else has to come in too.
Yes, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, they know that if not everybody else has to come down, they're not winning this championship. Because the 96 was not the last, if not the last car to pit. 42's coming in.
42 might be in here. Yes, she is in. 42's in.
Yes.
22, 78, 55 staying out.
Interesting. Not 917 though. That's
96 is still out there. It's a splash
no
of fuel.
tires.
No tires.
where's gonna come. Where does the 2's going to come out in comparison. So
Yeah.
that was what?
Are those tires
one
going to
set
help
of tires
Ramos
had
get
what?
to the 42?
I think his side of tires had something like 3 or 4 seconds to a pit stop.
Yeah, but does she gain that back on the track?
Well, maybe before the end of the
I
race.
believe
I don't know if she
there's
would
more
have-
cars
No,
coming
the-
down pit road. Is the 55 still out there? Yes.
Yes. And the
55
55
still
was
out
laid
there.
back for a lot of that cycle, by the way. The 55 was laid back for a lot of that cycle, so she might have
Yeah.
been fuel saving.
I think she's in.
Oh, yes. Looks like it at least.
55 is in.
He's in. He's in. The
The
96
2,
now.
I think, is behind the 42. 42 is ahead of the 2. So now it's down to does the 96 pit. The 96 stayed out here. No, she's in!
No!
96 is
2
on pit
laps
road.
short.
2 laps short for Lynn Oswell. And Von Lundquist is ahead on strategy.
And I think,
So who's the
yeah, I think
leader?
that's
It's
it.
the 10 right now, I
Oh.
believe.
What's the pace difference between the 46 and the 42 and the...
There's the
Two.
10. The 10's still out there. White flag is out. The 10's trying to make it to the end.
Oh, she's slow.
It's Charlie McCarron out
slow.
front right now, looking for her first win in a competitive series for points. Williams exits behind the 42. McCarron's still out there. Is she going to have enough to make it? I think the 10 is going to make it to the end. Yes, she will. And your race winner is Charlie McCarron in the 10 car who wins at Homestead. And now the 42, I think, is the only one who's on the lead lap. The 7 is on the grass. The 42 is coming around to finish the race. But your champion, I believe, will be Freya von Lundquist.
Well, there she is. She is the champion.
Nobody else is on the lead lap.
She's officially the champion because everybody else is a dab down. And then second place would go to the 2 of Ramos.
It's the 55.
Oh,
55
it's
is
the 55.
15th. The 2 is 17th. And
Yeah,
your
96 is the gamble
AWSCO
to point.
Snapdragon Continental Series champion from Herning, Denmark is Freya von Lundquist. What a run she made in the final laps of the race to get back to the front, get past the 2, and get the strategy just right.
That was about perfect. That was. She had to make it through the field, and she proved that she could. And she just won it on pure pace. There's no way to argue anything otherwise. This isn't a strategy or anything called. It's pure pace. She had a
Yeah.
worse strategy than the 2.
Yeah, and she still made it work.
But the 2 with that 2-tire gamble, that I don't know if it was the right call as well. I think that cost the 2 the second place of the championship.
Yeah,
Sort of like.
I mean, I think it did. And I think that 2 tires was just a move of desperation, honestly.
Yeah.
Just desperation, try to see if you can gain some of that position you've lost back. Already had to pit much earlier than everybody else.
But hey, we saw that 4 cars could make it. Actually, not 4 cars. 2 cars made it on fuel.
That is 3, I believe, because the 93, I believe, also managed to make it
But
to
the
the end.
93 was off.
I don't think the 93 was off cycle.
Okay. But yeah. So they could make it. It's just these cars did not. They were too focused on battling, and they didn't stretch enough.
Well, with all that, what a race! I mean, what do you think? How do you feel about how this race played out, and what do you feel about the finish?
Well, it was a fun one. We didn't have any caution, which was good for the championship finale. It was all based on pace and strategy. And hey, it was a thriller until the end. We did not know who was going to win. In fact, I don't think anybody, even 10 laps before the end, was gonna predict that Charlie McCarron was going to win this race. And I mean, that championship battle was just amazing. That was a stuff in history books.
What a race. First ever caution-free race in AWSCO, and it happens on the biggest stage. Literally, it is the first ever caution-free race we've had. And this is where it happens, which is just, I mean, it says a lot about this field. So, for good and bad.
Well, they've learned a lot.
Well,
Daytona.
let's send you down to the FanDuel Fin Studio with Rashi and Ellie, where they'll have our post-race analysis, and they'll have the championship celebration coverage as well. You two, take it away.
What in the world did I just watch at the end there? There's like three different strategies here represented in the top 10 alone. And it came down to the timing of that final stop for all 5 of the championship contenders. I was genuinely thinking that the 96 was going to be able to make it to the end there. I was shocked that the 96 had to come in for a splash. I thought by coming in later they were in a position to do so, considering the 10 and the 93 also came in around the same time, I want to say. 14 actually did come in. No, 14 actually did come in late as well. So all 3 of those cars that did make it, that were on the primary strategy, that made it on fuel, all 3 of them were cars that came in later on that last pit cycle to kind of saved up, I guess kind of just held back and saved enough fuel to make it to the end there. But what a topsy-turvy finish that was. And I feel like it's right that a topsy-turvy finish like that resulted in Charlie McCarron's first win. She has been knocking on the door of a points win in every series that she's competed in for quite a while now, a few years at the very least, and she was finally able to get it done here. What a run from the 10 of McCarron to get it done at the end there. And also congratulations as well to Ozark Motorsports for getting that second win in that 10 car. It's been a bit of a rough time for McCarron in that 10 car. Shinty took over for Eliza Evergreen, but she's been quick and had quite a few shots to win. I wouldn't say not too, but when it comes to getting your first win, I feel like a lot of times you'll just take what you can get, and that's I think McCarron is going to absolutely be elated by finally getting the monkey off her back there and getting her first win. Edelstein and Oberman also good finishes for them, and then you see there from 4th through 7th, those were the 4 cars that we reported having mechanical failures in the middle of the second run. Tremblay Vaudreuil had a tire go down. Mayumi Moriyama had a tire go down. Zoe Quinton I think had a problem in the third. After the second pit cycle, I think it was an oil leak on that car, and Willis Callaway as well came in mid-cycle to fix that oil leak as well, all finishing in the top 10 by going off-cycle, kind of forced to go on an alternate strategy, but it worked out perfectly for them, all 4 of them finishing in the top 10. Then you finally get to our final 4 cars, Starchev and Roberts, who came in extremely early, obviously kind of cut their losses there, committed to an early strategy. Then you have your champion, Freya von Lundqvist, in 10th, and Robin Morales in 11th, rounding out the cars that finished on the lead lap. So Freya effectively had a free lap to kind of just take it in, I guess. Sandy Martel leads the cars that finished 1 lap down, and you can see that whole brigade of cars that finished 1 lap down, including the rest of your championship 5 that finished as well. I mean, we talked about whether or not a two-stop strategy was possible. The answer was apparently yes, but kind of yes, but you really had to stretch it there in the end. You had to kind of commit. I think you really had to commit in that second pit cycle to staying as long as possible and making sure you had that flexibility to stay out and come in. The pick I had in the middle of the race, Lexi Rockwood, ended up coming in a little too early, I think, and had to come in later on. Alice Hageman actually retired due to tire. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I didn't even realize we had a DNF in this race. Ellie, what do you think of this race? There's just a lot to talk about, a lot to take in, I think.
I think that was an amazing race. That was a
perfect finale to the Continental Series, I think. The strategy was there, though. The question of whether there was going to be a two-stop, there was, but it kind of came with a caveat. It was very late, within the last, 3-4 laps. Some even came in at the last 2. And Vareva Lundqvist just timed it the best, it seemed like. She wasn't my pick, but I had a good feeling about her as well. And, what a way to take the championship like that as well. That was just a really great race.
Yeah, and I will say, I'm not sure what the strategy was going to be for Rachel Ramos, considering she ended up, I think, taking 2 tires. And also, somewhere I think just under a half a can of fuel. She needed a little bit of extra fuel. But I'm not sure if taking the tires was going to be the right move there, because that lost her just enough time to fall behind the 55. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if North Star made the right decision there.
Yeah, I'm not sure she needed those 2 tires at all. There wasn't that much race left at all. It was really just a matter of where you wanted to position yourself, and throwing on those 2 tires just achieved nothing for her. I don't think it was the move at all. If we had maybe 5 more laps, maybe.
Yeah, if we had to think of 5 more laps, I think that would have worked quite well. Given that she would be in a position to attack, which was exactly the place where Freya was coming into the pit cycle, where she's in that position to, on slightly fresher tires, to attack. And we saw how much time the 42 and the 42 and also the 55 for most of the run were able to claw back. It just happened to be the case that the 42 was the one that managed the traffic a little bit better, kind of got those extra cars between herself and the 55 of Deborah Williams that made all the difference in the end. I will just say, though, that this is not even the first time Freya has won a championship doing this. In the ISRC Season 2 finale, where she won the championship, finishing, I believe, 11th, there was a pit cycle with about 10 to go, where everybody had to come in to take take fuel. I think Freya was, one of the first cars to come in that time, and it worked out perfectly for her. She came in kind of in the middle this time, and it worked just fine for her this time as well. So it's not exactly, that strategy by Ramos wasn't exactly out of the question in terms of whether or not it would have worked or not. I just think there wasn't enough time here with the way the pit cycle, that final pit cycle, was staggered. I think if it had been staggered 5 laps earlier, as you said, I think that might have been more interesting. Especially because then they would have had time to unlap themselves, going around McCarran, or maybe McCarran and Edelstein and Oberm would have all come in, I think, to fuel up as well. That would have left the 42, the 55, and the 2 on the same lap together, because in the end that was the difference right there. The 42 was ahead of the 10 and got to run that extra lap basically, and basically served as insurance, where basically the 55 and the 2's race was over a lap early as a result.
Yeah, her strategy wasn't necessarily bad. It was just the timing of it, which, it's unfortunate for her, but she's had an amazing run. Look how far she's came, and look how far all of these drivers have came. Ramos going into the first round, we were like, wow, she really kind of just got in here. She kind of forced her way in here. And then round 2, by the end of round 1, she wasn't doing that great. But at the start of round 2, she was kind of in an position, and she kind of just locked in. And, well, even though you didn't get the championship, you had a hell of a performance.
Yeah, so it'll be Von Lundqvist, Williams, Ramos, Oswell, and Jones. It came down to the 2. It came down to, I think, the 2. I'd say the 2 favorites coming into the playoffs, the 42 and the 55. I think if you told me that those 2 would be in the final 5, I would wager a guess and say that they would be the 2 that were were going to be in the place in the end. Although the 55 kind of worked out a little bit weird like that.
Yeah. The
96 obviously we're just throwing something different in there, trying to wheel it to the end, kind of on fuel, which it didn't work out because they had to come in, which is kind of ugly. To be fair, we did point out that when we did cut to the 96, whenever we were watching the 96, they were kind of off of the draft, which makes me think maybe they may have tried to bite a little too much in that second round, in that second cycle, came in maybe a little too late, and kind of left themselves exposed in a position where they weren't able to draft off of other drivers. Because the other three, McCarron, Edelstein, Oberman, I think were in a better position to do that compared to the 96, who were kind of just had to do everything herself in that last run. And I think that may have also been the difference right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think she either ended up going with that strategy too late, or just it was just the fact that she was alone and out with no one burning more fuel instead of being able to just draft off of someone else and ease in the back and lay back and not really have to push herself. But she had to push herself because, well, she would have either gone like multiple laps down or just wouldn't have been able to be in contention. And well, that pretty much happened. She wasn't able to be in contention because, well, she wasn't able to draft off of anyone. So it's unfortunate for her. But again, she had a really great run.
Yeah, and and everyone was cutting it close. We saw, I think, the seven. I think that's Faye Zanda in that car that was on the grass at the end of the race on that last lap. I'm not sure if they ran out of fuel or had another issue of some sort or another, but I'm not sure what happened there. We had a car stranded on the very last lap while we saw the 42 rounding out to finish her lap. I think she either ran out of fuel or had another mechanical failure. Perhaps she might have been. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure what happened to there. Maybe we'll figure that out later on. Yeah,
and see what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, what an ending that was. That was certainly an ending that kept everyone off at the edge of their seats, I would say.
Yeah.
Considering how I feel like that's how races with late pit cycles at Homestead, but it just happens quite a lot, actually. I've noticed a lot of races at Homestead have resulted in late pit cycles or someone going off cycle maybe unintentionally because of a mech fail and putting themselves in a position to win because of that. It's happened before. I've seen this happen quite a few times, which is interesting I think that I've seen this happen quite many times already across multiple series.
I guess it's just the kind of racing that this track brings out. I mean, this track is very fun to watch. It's very hectic. It's very chaotic. Well, in terms of chaotic, there's not much crashing going on. I mean, this was AWSCO's first caution-free race. But in terms of chaotic, I mean, the competitiveness of it. And I think that's why it's so fun.
Yeah, I think the race going green all the way probably also helped out in that. Kind of forced all the crew chiefs kind of on to kind of be on their at their best game here, because a lot of times when you have that green flag race like that, a fully green flag race like that, it is going to come down to how the crew chiefs handle it and how the pit crews are able to do it to get it done on the racetrack, and that's exactly I think what we saw today here at Homestead, Miami. So congratulations to Charlie McCarron and Freya von Lundquist on their win and championship respectively. I've been Rasha, and I will. We'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow after as well for. I'll be in the studio, as I'll likely be in the studio for the Cup Series finale as well. It's coming up tomorrow, but we'll get to do this all again one more time tomorrow, as we'll have the championship race in the for the Cup Series as well coming up tomorrow. But of course, that's going to be a much longer race, and that's going to be a lot to look forward to in that one. I've been Rasha. Thank you all for joining me in the FanDuel Fan Studio. We'll send you guys back to Echo here while she wrap up the broadcast for everyone.
Yeah, and what a race it was from Homestead Miami Speedway. 200 laps of pure racing, no yellow flags whatsoever. And at the end, high drama in the finish, not only for the race win, but for the championship win as well. On behalf of everybody who's joined me through the Continental Series this season, Ludovic, Ellie, and Rasha in the studio, I'm Echo. I will see you tomorrow for the Cup Series finale, and I really hope you enjoy that one too as much as you enjoy this one. All right,